Let's get nasty on a Monday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202 Your Time Check is brought to you by Carlson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie Rivers live from his hotel room in Boston. Tonight is the Blues take on the Bruins at TD Garden. 5 o'clock pregame, 6 o'clock puck drop. What's up, Jamie?
Not much, man. It's been a wild week for me. Had my brother and his wife come and visit me in New York along with Ashley, and we spent a couple of days doing New York City, and then, took the train from New York City to Boston. You ever take the train anywhere, Anthony?
I have, yes.
It's interesting.
Okay, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. Depends.
Yeah. If it's a really long trip, it's not great. Like, I've done Chicago to New York. That one's, yeah.
That doesn't sound
You
fun
start
at
to
all.
feel a little like, I can't sleep, because you're crammed in there. But a shorter trip, like a couple hours, great. I think it's awesome.
Well, it was about 4 hours from New York City to Boston,
Perfect.
and I gotta say, I'm a lucky man. My lovely girlfriend got a first-class ticket for me.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, so I was riding in style.
Living life.
There you go.
But I'm good. How you guys doing?
Would be better if the Blues, weren't struggling as
How
much
about
as
the
they were.
NFL today, Anthony?
It's
a
been
lot of stuff
wild.
going on.
We'll get to it. But let's
Carey,
start off with
look
the
at
Blues.
you, eh? You lucky guy. You got your guy there in Pittsburgh.
Lucky-ish, I guess. We'll see how it goes.
He's
He's got to be better than Kenny Pickett. I think so.
Maybe.
I think so.
Yeah, maybe.
He's a better track record.
We'll get into that. Let's talk about these Blues.
Marky,
though.
how about your guy, Kirk Cousins? I mean, my goodness.
Jamie, I don't need that. I don't need that right now. I clearly, I don't even want to talk about the Blues either, really.
Are you that upset about Kirk
Well, the
Cousins?
Cardinals were winning earlier today, too, and now they're losing.
Wow.
That's a lot.
No, I don't know if I'm that upset about Kirk.
It's
I'm
fine.
not, it's
You're
fine.
bothered.
It's fine.
I'm bothered,
You're bothered.
but I
Right.
mean, I just did get a few, shirts for Christmas with Kirk Cousins'
That
face
one's
on
the-
it. So
does
that
that
does
bother you
sting.
more
I
than
think
actually
it kind of
losing
does,
him? Yeah.
actually, because I can't wear it anymore.
That's kind of the Kirk Cousins effect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're not happy because you're like, we at least were a wild card contender.
Right.
But that's about it, you know?
What could have been, right?
What could have been. Yeah. Now you're like, well, maybe we're a non-playoff team, or maybe we've got a lot more upside. It's the unknown. Kirk, you know exactly what you're going to get. An overpaid quarterback that's going to put up good stats, and he's going to give you a chance to win
And
the
win the
division.
division.
Win the division and
Something
lose in the first round.
Well,
Now you can
the
experience
Cardinals
that.
motto, just get in.
Yeah,
And anything is possible.
Kirk Cousins is a perfect St. Louis
There you
Cardinal,
go.
quite
There you
frankly.
go.
He really would be.
He would be a perfect
Yeah.
Cardinal.
And he'd get injured in the middle of the year.
Tries hard, somewhat likable, just get in style, and that's about it. Take your money.
Take your money and
Put the money in the
run.
bag.
Put the money in the bag.
Yeah. This is going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt me. Put the money in the bag, but I'm going to give you a little bit of
Okay.
playoff. You'll get there.
Just get there. So what more do you want?
I want to talk about the Blues. Jordan Binnington allowed 4 goals, 39 shots on Saturday in a 4-0 loss to the Rangers. He allowed a pair of goals in the opening period, 2 more on power play markers in the third. Blues failed to crack the scoring ledger. That's the one where they had the goose egg next to their team name. Yeah.
And the puck goes completely across the line.
Yeah,
Learn
yeah.
that. It got the entire puck. Not like the NFL
Has
one,
not
just
done
a
that
piece.
very often.
No, they have not.
Not good.
I mean,
You can't
Jamie,
win that way as far as last I
It's
checked.
difficult, Carey. It's
Yeah.
difficult. Like football is very much like hockey.
Yeah.
You have to outscore the other team to win the game.
Most sports,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that'd be every sport. Yeah.
Well, in soccer, you get the tie,
Well,
the draw.
yeah. Anyways, Jamie, what's left to be said about this Blues team at this point? They don't make any deals at the deadline. Fine. Okay. Obviously, Doug Armstrong wasn't blown away by the offers. It just feels like right now we as Blues fans and observers are kind of in this middle ground, this kind of purgatory where they've got a lot of contracts that are going to eat up the cap space. They might be able to make some smaller moves, but ultimately this is the roster, and the roster hasn't been good enough now the last year plus. So we're kind of in purgatory right now.
Yeah. Look, obviously they haven't played very well here recently, and it's not at a great time because this is when, you're trying to accumulate as many points as you can to try and make some kind of a push for the playoffs. Right now, I think that this team just has to push to get better every game, and win as many games as you can. I know that nobody in the locker room is talking about not making the playoffs. I know the coaching staff they're going to coach this team to make the playoffs. Now, will they do that? I don't know. I do know that it's a long road right now for them, and the first step they have to do is start playing consistently, have a consistent effort. The turnovers are just, so many turnovers the last couple of games. I mean, and it's just every time it's like it stings them too. Here's a random fact that I got from Jeremy Rutherford this morning at Morning Skate. How many goals do you think in the last 9 games? How many goals do you think the Blues have scored that are not empty netters in the third period?
In the third period?
Oh,
how many games are you talking about?
9. They've got 2 empty net goals in 9 games. How many 5-on-5 in 9 games in the third period?
I would like to say 3, but 2. I feel like that's too many.
2.
Okay. Marshy, what's your guess?
Last 9 games?
Yeah.
I'll say 6.
All right. The answer is 0, guys.
Oh. Hey, I won.
0.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
On 75 shots on goal.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to win many games if you don't score in the third period.
No, but Jamie, what does that? I mean, besides the obvious, Carey just nailed it. Carey just landed the obvious. What does that tell you about the third period production? I mean, or just the state of this team?
Yeah, a couple things. It tells me that they're not playing with enough urgency because the third period is usually the period where you crank it up. Even if you're ahead by a goal or whatnot, like you try to get that extra goal. You try to widen the lead. And when the Blues have been chasing the game, that's when you throw everything but the kitchen sink at the other team to try and catch up. Yeah. If you're not scoring 5-on-5 in 9 games in the third period, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. And it makes me question a little bit, where these guys are physically, too. Because is it the third period where we're seeing a dip because guys are tired, guys are injured? I'm not sure. But when I heard that stat, and again, that's credit to Jeremy Rutherford, it was alarming to me. And if I'm, Drew Bannister or Steve Ott, the coaching staff, then you got to hammer on these guys. You do. And apparently that's what happened, too. Before last game, I guess, I don't know if you guys heard this, but Drew Bannister just skated the team for the entire practice. Just skated him into the ground. He's like, I got to try and get their attention somehow. And, we have a game tomorrow night, and, is there an opportune time to do this type of thing? No. But he's trying to get this team to get some kind of a reaction to play with a little more urgency and certainly more consistently. So that's where we're at right now. When you ask me where we're at, that's where we're at.
Jamie, what does that say about this team? I mean, 2 weeks ago, you were second in the wild card. Now you've been leapfrogged by about 3 or 4 teams. You're talking about 0 goals in 5-on-5 in the third period for the last 9 games. What is the state or the mind state of this team?
Well, they're not having a lot of fun going to the rink right now. You can see it. They're wearing it for sure. What the mindset is, a lot of frustration, that's for sure. You have a lot of guys in that locker room that really want to win hockey games. And I would like to think all of them like to win hockey games, but you got guys, they're just miserable right now. Guys that compete night in and night out. And the problem is you're not getting everybody competing every single night, every single shift. Not playing the right way, turning the puck over like crazy. And so, what's the state of the team right now? I'd say massive frustration right now. And they got to find something here to get over it. And what I mean by that is, and you guys know this, you guys played sports, you're in a losing streak or a slump, whatever you want to call it. At some point, you have to get over it, meaning, you got to park it. Because if you don't, the frustration just continues to mount over and over and over. And then it's like the quicksand effect. The harder you struggle, the quicker you sink. And that's kind of what happens to losing teams. So they have to find some way to create some joy in their locker room, some way to find some positives. Obviously, winning a hockey game helps that. But for me, it's baby steps. For me right now, I'm talking about like basically starting to rate each period for each line, each pairings. Like, hey, how was the first period? Good. You guys, while you were on the ice, you shot the outshot the opposition 4-2. Mm-hmm. You gave up. You turned the puck over one time. Like, start little obstacles or little goals rather that you can start to accomplish, so the guys can start to feel good throughout the game, and then hopefully it translates into winning the game, and then you feel better. Obviously, winning games is a good feeling for everybody.
So, Jamie, you don't think this is a talent problem, right? Like, the guys can do these things that we talk about. Do you think it's like a mental toughness thing for them at this moment of the season?
Well, I think certainly there's a mental toughness factor that comes into this, especially at this time of the season, especially around trade deadline, which has gone and passed now, but leading up to it, it is stressful for a lot of guys. As far as the guys and looking to do what they want to do right now, like what's the problem? Why is this? I do think they have the talent. I do, because otherwise, how do you win the games that you already won this year? You've got guys like Robert Thomas, Pavel Buchnevich, Jordan Kyrou. I know people get mad at those guys, but they're having relatively, like, Thomas is having a great season. Those other two guys are having very productive seasons. You need more from some of your depth pieces, that's for sure. You got a little bit of a different lineup tonight. Shen's going to play left wing with Thomas and Kyrou. Buch is going back to center between Neighbors and Bolduc. So Bolduc has been shifted all the way up to the second line, and they want him to shoot the puck a lot. So hopefully that'll start to turn some things around. But I do think they have the talent. I just think the consistency there, the mental toughness to not turn the puck over as much as they have, is probably lacking.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. That's Jamie Rivers. That's Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, and Anthony Stalter. So from the Blues to the Cardinals, let's get into the state of the starting rotation. There's some good. There's some positives from today. Not just the spring training game, but, for one of the Cardinals' starting pitchers. But if you look back over the last 5 days or so, it hadn't been great. So we'll talk about the state of the starting rotation next on 101 ESPN.
Spring arrived early at Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, and the savings are in full bloom. That means everyone can save lots of green on every vehicle on the lot. Everything is priced to sell, and they promise to beat any deal in town. Plus, Johnny Londoff Chevrolet includes a lifetime warranty on all new Chevrolets and most of their pre-owned inventory. The Londoff Pro Certified Lifetime Powertrain Warranty comes at no charge and covers a vehicle for as long as you own it. There are no mileage limits and no time limits, and you don't pay a dime. Hurry in and take full advantage of all of those great savings, as well as some new vehicles. How about a 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT? Right now, the suggested retail price is $61,190. Nope, Londoff lucky price $50,650. You save over $10,000 on that vehicle alone. Don't forget to check out the new Chevy Trax. Talked about that. My son Braden, he just got himself a brand new 2024 Chevy Trax, and it is awesome. He absolutely loves it. Please stop by either Londoff location, the original in Florissant, Missouri, or the new Autoplex out in St. Peters. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. They love to hear you say that. They also love to have you check out their websites. Check them out at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com.
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
Cards now down 7-4 to the Nationals in spring training. They had a lead at one point, and then I think JoJo Romero got a little roughed up. The starting rotation hasn't looked that great either. So we'll start off with the positive news, though. Sonny Gray was set to throw today off a mound, and apparently that session went well. And Sonny Gray, after leaving that spring training start last week, looks like he's progressing.
That's good.
So hopefully Sonny Gray, assuming that hamstring does hold up, hopefully we still see him on opening day. If not, it's not a huge injury, and we'll see him within the first week or so when the regular season starts.
Yes.
I'm going to throw out these numbers, and then I'm going to ask you guys a question that I'm kind of conflicted about. Steven Matz versus the Mets on Saturday. 2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 0 walks, 2 Ks. Lance Lynn, before he was tossed in that game against the Nationals on Friday. 2 innings, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 2 Ks. Kyle Gibson in his last start, 3 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks. And then Miles Michaelis last week, and this is just his last start. This was, I believe, his Wednesday against the Twins. He went 4 innings, only allowed 3 hits, 1 run, 0 walks, 4 Ks. I think we care about spring training stats. Actually, I don't think we care about spring training stats unless they're bad. And unless the Cardinals are coming off a really bad season like they were last year. Otherwise, I don't think we care about spring training stats. Imagine these flipped. If these were flipped and these 4 guys were pitching very well, I think the majority of us would say, well, we'll see when the games actually count. But I'm conflicted because of the season that they had a year ago, because the starting rotation was so bad last season, and because the Cardinals decided to rely on a couple of aging veterans. I'm sorry, I look at these numbers, I'm like, yikes. Where are you guys on it?
Well, I'm on. Looks like the Cardinals are going to lead the league in hits allowed. That's what it sounds like. I mean, I know it's spring training. We're joking, but it just a team that signed pitchers that were top 5 in hits allowed last year, added with Miles Michaelis. That's what it feels like. Now, Jamie, you watch hockey a lot. You played hockey a lot. If a team gets a lot of shots on goal, what's going to happen?
Well, eventually they go in.
There you go. If a team gets a lot of hits, eventually people are going to score. And for me, that's problematic. I think that we talked about that last season or going into this season, how many hits were allowed. And you said, well, they pitch a lot. They pitch a lot of innings. Yeah, it's good. It's great. But the more hits you allow, the more runners are on base and the more trouble you find yourself in. And I think that to me is a concern. We can say, oh, it's spring training, but it's also we have evidence of it happening already. And if it's continuing to happen, you have no reason to not believe that it's going to be the same way again in 2024.
So when I look at those numbers and I think about the Cardinals pitching staff right now, it worries me a little bit, but I look at it two ways. One, okay, it's spring training. I get it. But two, the flip side for me is you think these guys would be amped up to be pitching some of their best stuff right now. And then the third spot where my brain goes is, okay, they're veteran guys. Maybe they're done with spring training. I remember towards the end of my career, training camp, like you didn't get amped up for training camp. Training camp was a pain in the ass, quite honestly, because you're like, I already know what the roster is. We got all these guys already under contract, and you're just trying to not get hurt out there playing preseason games and things like that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's kind of the same for these guys because they are such veteran guys. Maybe it's like, we're over this. Now, I would push back a little bit on that statement when it comes to Steven Matz because he was injured again. And starting this spring training, you'd think he'd want to be out there, throwing grease BBs off the mound. Instead, he's throwing underhand, basically. And it's not trying to be insulting, but I guess I am. So that's where I am with all of it. If it happens over and over again during spring training, then I'll start to be concerned. But if I see it starting to trend in an upward direction to where they're finding their game or they're getting back into the game shape that they should be in, then I wouldn't be worried about it.
Yeah, I think I ultimately fall on the side of it is only spring training. And we've had so many examples, both positively and negatively, about spring training. A year ago, we were so hyped about the offense coming out of spring training.
We were.
The season was a disaster. I remember, and I've brought this up before, I remember when Miles Michaelis was signed, his spring training, awful. And a lot of people were like, what did the Cardinals just sign? And he wound up being, I think statistically, their best pitcher that year, and I believe he was an all-star too. So there's a lot of different ways we can look at this, either from a negative standpoint or a positive standpoint. However, you can't tell me that it doesn't have some impact on some of the players and the coaching, and even Mo, to sit there in spring training, coming off of last year, and not have it having a negative impact, saying, here we go again. To your point, Jamie, about can these guys, wouldn't these guys want to shove a little bit even in spring training? I would think that they would want better results to just build some sort of momentum, build some sort of optimism heading into the year.
Spring training and training camp for us was similar. Like you don't want to be there. 2 weeks in, you're like, oh my God, this is ridiculous.
Well, let's get to the games.
Let's get to the regular season games. But there is, for us, for the starters, that third preseason game was the game where, okay, we got to rev it up. We got to go. We know this is the game. All the other games, you're not playing as much until you got to that third preseason game when we had 4. Mm-hmm. But as a player, like to your point, Jamie, these guys are, each game is essentially, they're not pitching more than 3 or 4 innings. They should be revved up and ready to go. And I don't think have that lackluster mindset where they're just kind of going through the motions. And if you are, that may signify a problem as well. I don't want to be, overly critical of spring training because it is spring training. It's not regular season. The games don't count in terms of your regular season record. But being prepared and being ready to roll is extremely important, especially for a team that lost as many games as they lost last season. Mm-hmm. On the bright side, Juan Yepez had a hell of a day. Well, 2 for 2, 4 RBIs. We had some injuries in the outfield, and Juan, that game he had, and he hit the home run in 2022, the only run we scored.
Yeah.
So he's 4 for 4 today, 4 RBIs. We got something brewing here, right?
Well, no, I would still have him.
Guys, he's playing for the Nationals. I can see how the red might confuse you. He's not. He's 4 for 4 with 4 Yeah, hey, Carey, you're right about that.
The 4 runs we scored were not Juan Yepez?
No, he's with the Nationals now. He scored those runs. He did that damage against the Cardinals.
Oh, gosh, darn it.
Oh, there's that.
Yeah, man.
Hey, at least, it could be. I mean, it could be worse.
It's 11-4. It was 4-1 Cardinals, and I don't know, Anthony.
Not the direction I was going.
It was 4-1 when we were in the office. It's 11-4 now. Yeah.
I still just see a one.
I got out of hand.
Oh, wait, there's two
There's
ones.
two ones.
Oh, my
Two
bad.
ones. Yeah.
So sorry, guys.
I thought those RBIs were for the Cardinals. Juan.
I mean, I guess if you want to do the misery loves company thing, Garrett Cole needs an MRI in his pitching elbow.
That doesn't help us.
No, but could be worse. You could have an ace and now he's hurt.
I'm sure that
We
team
do.
won't make any moves,
Anthony? What the hell are you talking about? We do have an ace. He's hurt.
You have a number one. And he's hurt.
He's our ace.
But he pitched today. Off a mound.
Ish.
He'll be fine.
All right. You
Yeah.
say so.
Rest of rotation, I'm not so sure about. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. The quarterback carousel, boy, it is spinning. And we know where the top names are going. We also know some of the other top names, like Saquon Barkley, where they're winding up. The biggest question, though, is where a current quarterback, what his trade market looks like after today. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Save money right now on your car or home insurance with Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency. They have some of the most competitive rates, and they make sure that you are properly covered. Tracy will work with you to make sure that you have all the right types of coverage as well for when something does happen. Not if something happens, it's when something happens, because we always know something's always going to happen. And when things do happen, it's nice to know the person that you're dealing with. I used to have a 1-800 number that I called and talked to somebody different every single time. And I had a lot of stress and frustration, especially when you need to file a claim and you're not sure what you're doing. Avoid all that. Call Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency. Get your free non-committal quote and just go with someone who knows you, going to know your family, is going to take great care of you. And all you have to do is give her a call at 314-328-4260. That's 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues lost over the weekend to the New York Rangers by a final of 4-0. They'll take on the Boston Bruins tonight. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. St. Louis City SC over the weekend played to a 2-2 draw against Austin FC. And the Cardinals currently are trailing 11-4 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Spring training action against the Washington Nationals. We just talked about the state of the rotation. If you missed that, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Lots going on in the NFL. We're going to dive into that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
What is the trade market now for Justin Fields? That's going to be the biggest question that the Bears are hoping to answer following a flurry of activity over the last 24 hours or so. Russell Wilson signed a one-year deal with Carey Steelers. Carey, how do you feel, man?
All right, I'm excited.
You fired up, kid?
Yeah. That's right. Ish.
There's no way he's happy about this.
Let's weld.
Yeah, that's what I
That was
saw.
one of the funnier.
Let's weld.
Yeah, that was one of the funnier memes I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, Carey, you feel okay about it? Because you also have Kenny Pickett, so it's like, well, you know.
I mean, if you were to force me, you know what? Here's what I was thinking on the way in. Arthur Smith, who you obviously may or may not agree with.
Yeah, guy's awesome.
Well, he was at one point in Tennessee, which allowed him to get the head coaching job when he was the OC to become the head coach at Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
What did they do in Tennessee?
Ran the ball with Derrick Henry.
Ran the ball with Derrick Henry, allowed Ryan Tannehill to play action pass, have success. This is actually, it may be built for Russell Wilson to succeed. Russell Wilson, when he was in Seattle, having the most success of his career, it wasn't on-time throws. It was bootlegs, rollouts. It was improvising with his legs, extending plays. Those were the times when Russell Wilson was having the most success. Sean Payton and Drew Brees, those two are in the pocket, on-time passes, get the ball out of your hand quickly. That's not really what Russell does well. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the first year in Denver, he had Nathaniel Hackett. God bless you. I mean, I don't know what he wanted him to do there. And then the
Hackett didn't know either.
Hackett had no clue.
No.
He got fired after 1 year. And then you bring in Sean Payton, who has a high standard because he has coached a Hall of Fame quarterback. But those are two totally different types of players. Mm-hmm. So with Russell going to Pittsburgh under Arthur Smith, who had really, really a lot of success in Tennessee, I think there may be. And then if you're the Steelers, you don't have to pay anything. $1.3 million. The Broncos are paying them $30+ million. Let them pay it. And you get a veteran quarterback who can come in and compete. Whoever wins the job, I'm okay with. But you have some actual pressure on Kenny Pickett to succeed now. Mason Rudolph does not apply pressure in the way that you need a quarterback to apply pressure for a young guy. So I'm actually okay with this. And I think if the Steelers still were able to draft a quarterback at some point, and probably not the first round, but maybe second, third round, find somebody that has some value, that can learn under those two guys, I'm actually okay with it.
So let me ask you this, Carey, because I found this to be the most intriguing part of it. Whether Russ can play or not, it doesn't matter. For $1.2 million or whatever the heck they're paying him, it doesn't matter. You know, if he can't play, you got Kenny Pickett, and maybe you draft a guy like you said. If he can play, hey, it's a bonus. But how do you think he will mesh with Mike Tomlin? Because Russell Wilson, all the reports coming out of Denver and certainly former teammates that he had in Seattle said that, like, the Russ show is a bit much.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot. And now he's going to a team that I believe to have solid structure, solid culture in place that organization for probably the lifetime that it's been around, but certainly right now with Mike Tomlin, what he demands. How the hell are they going to figure it out, those two?
Russ will figure it out. Mike won't need to. Mike T will be who he is, and Russ will figure it out. This is the standard. This is the expectation. This is how we go about our business. It's different in Pittsburgh than other places. I think Pete Carroll, because he's a great coach, but he also is hey, be you, buddy. I'm me. I'm going to do what I do. And he allowed Russell to kind of go awry with some of his antics and things off the field and not be a good teammate. And obviously no one there was willing or able to call him out. In Pittsburgh, if you don't handle your business, we had teammates call each other out in meetings, in front of one another. It just was what took place. So the expectation is you are here for a reason, and that's to win championships and win games as a Pittsburgh Steeler, not as Russell Wilson or not as Ben Roethlisberger or not as Hines Ward. It's collectively in Pittsburgh, we are here for that reason, to win games as Steelers. So
it's a low-risk move. Denver's paying the freight on it. They get the competition going with Kenny Pickett. They had to do that. I agree. The Mason Rudolph situation, that you had to move on from that, and you had to force Kenny Pickett to improve his game. Russell Wilson hasn't been good in about 3.5 years now, so I don't expect some dramatic turnaround, but I understand why they did it. They're not in position to draft one of those guys. They haven't ever been an organization that really mortgages the future in the draft to go all the way up to make a splash move. And the good and the bad of Mike Tomlin is being shown here. Mike Tomlin winning as many games as he does over the course of a regular season doesn't put you in a spot to draft a top guy. So it's good and bad. Mm-hmm. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Russell Wilson last year or Kenny Pickett last year? Who would you rather have? Because Kenny Pickett.
I think it's 6-1, half dozen the other.
No. I don't know.
I still think Russ has got more talent. I still think he's better.
I agree.
Yeah,
he's scratching his head. He doesn't.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm not gonna back Kenny Pickett because I don't think Kenny Pickett's that good. Russell Wilson has been good in years.
Russell Wilson
kind of mood.
What did Kenny Pickett do? Russell Wilson had 3,070 yards, 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. I don't think Kenny Pickett had 10 touchdowns last year.
No,
he missed time. I think he had 6.
Yeah,
he missed some time, but I mean, come on.
So the worst kept secret was that Kirk Cousins was going to go to Atlanta, and he did. 4-year deal, $180 million, $100 million guaranteed.
Okay.
Put the money in the bag.
Okay.
I'm fine. Why?
I'm just wondering. I didn't know.
I'm fine.
I'm sorry.
Vikings are looking at Sam Darnold, according to Diana Rossini.
Oh, my God.
Well,
they could go after Sam Darnold, maybe pair him with J.J. McCarthy in the draft. Bingo, bango, bongo.
Should have started with that.
The Vikings have their opportunity now to get back in this thing.
You should have started with that.
What's that?
Yeah, the Sam Darnold. Now, you want to win championships. That's not the way to go.
Here's the thing.
Minecraft head.
I feel like the Vikings and Falcons now, we're
just
kind of
intertwined. They knew it. They knew that we had that dynamic.
From my standpoint, watching Desmond Ridder play football a year ago, that was tough. Kirk Cousins might as well be Dan Marino compared to Desmond Ridder. I also know that there's a ceiling to Kirk Cousins. He will not be worth the money. The Falcons gave up all the rest of the cap space to bring in somebody that is going to win that is likely going to give them the best chance to win the division, host a playoff game, and then who knows?
Give Kirk Cousins his.
You're not going to go beyond that. I was actually hoping the Falcons would draft their future quarterback and have that window stay open where you're not paying the guy, as opposed to paying Kirk Cousins basically $1 billion to put up good numbers and not win anything of significance. That's kind of where I'm at. But is it a dramatic upgrade? Yeah. For you, it's like
he's sick.
Either he soaks up all your cap space to do exactly what I just said, or you roll the dice and find somebody in the draft.
With Sam Darnold.
Then it's higher upside, and Sam Darnold, be the incumbent.
I'd rather watch the Blues turn the puck over at the blue line.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't.
You bite your tongue.
That's how I feel, Jamie.
I know, buddy. I know.
All right, but so real quick,
anybody but Sam Darnold.
Anybody.
Minecraft.
Yeah.
Where now is Justin Fields going? Because
Or is he
going into the division?
Okay, so I don't think
going to
I don't think the Bears
Vikings.
I don't think the Bears are going to trade him to Minnesota. Kevin O'Connell had Kirk Cousins, the ultimate stationary Sam Bradford. I'm not moving from this pocket. So check down Charlie. That's not Justin Fields, and I don't think they're going to trade. They're going to trade in the NFC North.
I will say though, when Josh Dobbs came in, that offense, it looked different, but it looked a little bit more explosive. So I think. And it wasn't, and Josh Dobbs is Josh Dobbs, but if you get a quarterback that can kind of replicate being able to move out of the pocket, I feel like it could work. I don't know.
Is that Kevin O'Connell's offense? Like everybody talking about Justin Fields going to Atlanta, they all thought, well, he's going back home. This is a perfect spot. They need a quarterback. As soon as they hired Zach Robinson, who is cut from the same cloth as like Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay, they were going to get a stationary-ass quarterback, a pocket quarterback. That's the quarterback they prefer. I think O'Connell's the same.
They probably won't get Justin Fields.
No.
But I think it would be interesting.
Exactly. So I don't think he goes to the Raiders because Luke Getsy doesn't want him because Luke Getsy had him in Chicago. He's now the OC in Las Vegas.
So if you're the Bears,
you have no market.
You have no market, which means you're going to be trading him for nothing.
Yes.
Which they do not want to do.
No.
So.
But you have a depleted asset now.
I mean,
Pittsburgh was probably the best bet.
What about the Broncos?
No, because then they have to guarantee. Because don't forget, the team that acquires him is going to have to guarantee that 5th year. The team that actually might make some sense is the Giants. And say, hey,
just pay Daniel.
Throw him into the mix there, and then that contract has got to be. They got to be able to get out of it at some point. The only other team here's the team. Well, the Patriots, they pick 3rd. I thought about them too, but they pick 3rd, so they can just go ahead and get their guy at 3.
They can, but will they? Because Bill's not there anymore. So
right,
they just traded Mac,
and they just traded Mac Jones for peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So
that's why did Jacksonville pick him up?
Because they wanted a better backup behind Trevor Lawrence. They had C.J. Beathard. Yeah, that's kind of the mark. The team that I think makes the most sense, and everybody's going to disagree. Let me say this: Justin Fields is a starter in the NFL. Full stop. I think the best fit right now, if you're looking at trades, is the Eagles.
No.
Put him behind Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts with he's been durable, but if he gets hurt, it's a similar quarterback. Who did everybody say, well, Justin Fields can be who? Jalen Hurts.
What about New Orleans as a backup?
I was thinking that too.
Jameis Winston is going to be gone.
They're in cap hell. I don't know if you're going to do it for a year. It'd be interesting.
Derek Carr was one quarterback that I looked at last year and was like, oh, the Saints are the team.
Right.
And the Saints weren't the team.
So let's not make the same mistake with Kirk Cousins, by the way.
What about
a much better version of Derek Carr?
Never mind. I had a team on my mind.
Yes.
I had a team on my mind, but I don't think it would work out due to them having an egregious contract. But with the Browns, like what is Joe Flacco doing? What is Deshaun Watson look like?
Yeah.
That team is good enough to make the playoffs. We just saw that.
That would be interesting. That'd be an interesting fit.
I don't know if you can trust Deshaun Watson.
Off the field or on the field?
Well, you just can't trust him.
Come on, guys. We're all thinking it. That was a layup.
Guys, sore muscles. Leave him alone.
Come on. What do you... Just go.
Lactic acid.
That's Jamie Rivers. Jamie's keys to victory and first goal of the game next on 101 ESPN.
Fellas, FanDuel is putting the ball in your court for the rest of the NBA season. That's right. I just said that. And right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. So, Carey, it's real easy. That's $200 if your bet wins.
Yeah, Jamie, bet on the NBA with a wide range of bet types, including quick bets, live same-game parlays, player props, and so much more. You know, maybe you want to take Jokic over in rebounds and under in assists. I don't know why. He's probably going to go over in assists, points, and rebounds because he's just that good. The Clippers, maybe you want to take Russell Wilson over in assists. Anything you want to do, just visit FanDuel.com/fast and make your first bet a layup.
I think you meant Russell Westbrook.
Did I say Russell Wilson?
Yeah, because Wilson's not going to be.
He might be in.
He might.
He's
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, we just, in fairness to Carey, we just got done talking about Russell Wilson. But if you're looking at FanDuel and saying, where's my Russell Wilson basketball props, you're probably not going to find. They got a lot of odds, though. So you can check it all out. Visit FanDuel.com/fast. Make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus distributed non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Tonight at 5 o'clock, you can listen to the pregame show here on 101 ESPN as the Blues take on the Bruins. The puck will drop from TD Garden a little after 6, right here on the Blues Radio Network. Jamie Rivers on the call tonight for Bally Sports Midwest. Jamie, what are your keys to victory tonight against the Bruins?
I got a couple here. Number one key to victory for me, and this is no surprise, is limit the turnovers. The turnovers have been like off the charts, the amount that the Blues have had on this road trip in particular. A little bit better against the Rangers the other night. However, still a couple turnovers cost them 2 goals, which you just can't afford to do right now. You can't afford to have that happen. So limiting the turnovers would be my first key. Second one here is discipline. Stay out of the box, man. I know the team has been really good all season long with their discipline and not taking penalties. Well, you took some the other night against the Rangers, and that power play can flat out play, and they scored 3 on you. Well, the Bruins are very similar. They have a very good power play as well. They got some guys that can find the back of the net, so stay out of the box. Next one, if you're going to try and generate some goals 5-on-5, you need pucks and bodies to the net. You have to generate way more opportunities for your team, and that means shooting the puck a lot more and getting a lot more bodies to the front of the net. All the goalies in the NHL struggle with bodies in front of the net. They don't like it. It's a chaos that they don't enjoy, so you're going to have to do that. And the last one for me is play physical. You know, I saw some life in this team in the Ranger game in the first couple of periods where there were some bodies getting hit. Guys are laying on a little bit of physicality. That huge Rempe playing for the Rangers, he was running around a little bit, and guys kind of got rattled, so they started running around and giving it back a little bit. I think any team that's slumping or struggling plays better when they play physical. It forces you to be engaged in the game. If you're not playing physical, you can sometimes drift out there. But when you're playing physical, man, you have to keep your head on a swivel and be looking around you at all times. And that just means you're more alert and usually more competitive at the time. So those are my keys.
Beautiful. All right, boys. Time for the first goal of the game.
Let's go, boys.
We need you to score more goals.
Get those loose pucks.
Thomas to Carey. Score!
Goal!
No big deal. Game winner.
All right. Jamie, I believe you still have honors.
Yeah. All right. So I got 2 players that I'm tossing and turning over here. One is Zach Bolduc, playing on the right wing now with Buchnevich and Jake Neighbors. Kid's got a hell of a shot. Watching him shoot the puck in practice and just the way he gets it off with ease makes me think he could be the guy. Or is it Braden Shen, bumped up to play with Robert Thompson, Jordan Kyrou left wing on that line? Does he go to the net and find himself a little bit of garbage and score the first goal? Tossing and turning here, boys. I'm going to go with Braden Shen on this one. I think the captain had a pretty good game the other night against the Rangers. I thought that he was buzzing around a little bit. I think you're going to see that again tonight. On the wing, it's actually a little bit easier for these guys. There's not quite as much skating, which means he'll have a little more energy out there, and he knows he's got to get to the net when playing with those 2.
I just knew he was going to go Zach Bolduc, and I was going to be frustrated.
I was wondering why you were giving me the death look.
Hey, he's all mad. Look at him.
Yeah.
That's just my face, fellas. I apologize. Sorry.
What do you want from me? It's my face. All right, so Carey, Zach Bolduc then is your choice?
So it's going to be Jake Neighbors.
Oh, the old triple deke there, Marsh.
I thought maybe those were my 2, Jake Neighbors and Zach Bolduc. I just like the fact that Jake stands in front of the net, and you said no goalie likes players in front of the net, so that's what he does. And they're angered, and he just tips pucks in, and he scores goals.
Yeah.
Because he's there. It's a great way to score. I could probably score a lot of goals, too, if I
Sure.
skate and stand in front of the net.
Yeah.
You stand in front, the puck will hit you.
It'll hit me and go in.
Right.
Probably hurt.
Yeah. No, I could probably score a bunch of
It feels
goals,
better
too.
when you score.
Pain goes away pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't feel it. You'll feel it after. You're like, son of a.
I feel the same way, Carey. If I had any sort of hockey skill, if I could skate, if I, you know.
Well, you can. You know how to get the puck out.
I certainly know how to clear it.
Yeah.
That's one thing the Blues could use. I don't know how many times I'm staring at these games and just say clear it. I know you guys are doing the same thing.
Clear it and don't turn it over.
Well, let's just go and
Work on
clear
one
it.
thing at a time.
We did get we all got, well, not all of us, but me and Anthony, we were tagged in a tweet earlier this weekend. Every time a Blues player fails to clear the zone, one Anthony Stalter and his Clear It camp gets its wings, and that was from Kevin on Twitter.
There you go.
Yeah, it's growing momentum.
It really is.
People want to buy into it. There's no doubt about it. Marsh, who's your selection?
Yeah, I just think the way that these guys disrespected Zach Bolduc, I'm definitely going to pick Zach Bolduc tonight to score that first goal. That's just sort of how hockey and the hockey gods work, right?
I like that. Yeah, 2 guys pass on him.
I'm right there
You're right there.
To scoop it up.
Yep. One of the few guys still trying is Robert the Thomas. So give me Robert the Thomas tonight to score the first goal.
One of the few guys that are trying?
Wait, what?
What does that mean? Does that mean
Yeah, there's,
everybody is not
I thought it was-
trying?
No, I didn't say everybody. I said
But
one
you
of the
said
few.
one of the guys that, most.
Few, Anthony.
Right,
That means it's only a handful, if that,
right.
that
No
are trying.
respect.
That means the other ones probably aren't.
I don't understand the question.
It's not really a question.
It's more of a statement.
Hey, Jamie, what did you think of the Minnesota Wild pulling their goalie in overtime to secure that victory?
I loved it. I honestly did. The Wild are in the same situation as the Blues. They're quite a ways back from the playoff hunt. Why not go get extra points? Look, there's a risk to it, obviously, because if Nashville scores, then the Wild lose their overtime point. They get 0. But when you look at it and you really go through the process here, it's a 4-on-3, which is a power play, but it's not really a power play because the other team can't just ice the puck. They can ice the puck if they want, but then they're not allowed to change their players. So you get zipping it around 4-on-3, and the other team has a hard time getting back puck possession, especially, too, because they're going to get tired. 4-on-3, they're killing a penalty. I love the move. We talked to Drew Bannister about it this morning, and he said that he doesn't believe the Blues are quite there yet in that situation to be risking a lot. But he said, you know what? It's a pretty good idea, and they've talked about it internally, and, never know, might see it at some point.
All right, there you go. Jamie, have a great call tonight.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you tomorrow.
You got it, brother.
That's Jamie Rivers here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Which outfield combination are you rooting for? Derek Gould, the Post-Dispatch, had a couple of different combinations of outfielders that will see some time over the next 2 weeks. What combination are we hoping for with Tommy Edman on the shelf for the foreseeable future? We'll talk about that next on 101 ESPN.
If you are currently in the market for replacement windows, please visit my friends at Window World. They are the preferred window of the St. Louis Blues. They're ranked number 1 in number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. And Window World uses a double-strength glass that gives it a strength not commonly used in replacement windows. And trust me, I was there. I stood on the window in the showroom, and it did not break. But they also offer you a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts, the glass breakage, and the labor. And all you have to do is give them a call over at 314-993-1800. Again, that number's 314-993-1800. Give them a call. Tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in, and ask them about getting out to your house for a free in-home estimate. They get out there, they measure everything. And that's another thing about Window World windows, is they measure it precisely, and they custom order your windows for you so that they fit perfectly into your window opening. A lot of other places don't do that, certainly not with the precision that Window World does. And the customer service is absolutely fantastic. They take pride in their customer service. They read all of their reviews. They want you to be happy with your window and everything to do with the process. So again, book an appointment or call and ask them a couple questions, whatever you need. That phone number is 314-993-1800, or look them up at windowworldstlouis.com.
It's time to fly down to Florida for a spring training report on 101 ESPN.
Presented by E&P Granite, Brooke, Jamie, Curbs, and Bernie Federko's choice for countertops and cabinets.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Derek Gould of the Post-Dispatch put together a bunch of different combinations of outfielders that could see some time over the next couple of weeks. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about which combination are you rooting for heading into the regular season. So let's go over the trios. And as Derek points out, he says any of these outfield trios you could see in the coming week for the Cardinals, what it means for their commitment to more consistent defense. And he went on to write about it at STLtoday.com. Burleson, Carlson, Walker.
Nope.
Why? Burleson? Okay, no.
Yeah, I'm out too.
All right.
No.
And it really because of Burleson.
Well, okay.
Well, Walker, or not Walker, Dylan Carlson can't hit the baseball right now either.
And
Well,
Burleson
it's
is
only
actually
spring
hitting really
training.
well. You guys keep saying that. And it's kind of how you figure out whether or not guys are going to be able to have success at some point. If it's Paul Goldschmidt, I don't think you worry about it.
Right.
If it's a guy that hasn't had a track record
And needs it. Yeah.
you probably worry about
Carey,
it.
that was smart.
There you go. I'm sorry. That's just my thought on all of it.
Carlson, so we're all out on that. Carlson, Scott, Walker. That's the second one. Second one.
I'm closer to yay on yeah.
All right, so we'll throw that in the maybe pile.
That's definitely a maybe. I think there's one more that sparks my interest, but let's just get to it.
Donovan, Carlson, Walker.
Oh, that wasn't what I was thinking.
No.
Well, just reading these right down the list. Says,
That's probably number 2, though.
are you out on that, dog?
I'm out on dog. I'm out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Donovan, Scott, Walker.
Yes.
That's the one that gets the yes from Marsh.
Not yet. Not there yet.
Carey says not yet.
Yeah.
Well, here's your last one. Burleson, Scott, Walker.
So.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want Burleson, Scott, Walker?
You gotta. Alec Burleson is hitting the ball really well in spring training.
What about-
that doesn't count for anything. You stick him in left field. You just move guys. Shade that way just a little bit. You know, like a safety when he's got a corner that is struggling and he's got a star receiver, but you don't want. They got 2 star receivers. The second corner is not as good. You just shade the safety over to that side, right?
Yeah.
That way you kind of eliminate opportunities for balls to be caught. So just shade Victor Scott over towards the left field a little bit more and let Alec limit the amount of room that he has to run to catch balls.
Anthony, you have your hand up.
He's going to hit.
If I may.
Sure, go ahead.
You're shading over to Burleson.
Yeah.
But also away from Walker.
Well, yeah, he's fast. He can cover some ground.
It's a no for me.
Yeah.
Dropped the ball the other day.
He's still learning, Marsh.
I think.
Hence the point.
Yeah. I think Burleson is hitting the ball really well. I think for me, I like Donovan in left field. It's a shorter throw for him. Obviously, he's coming off of an injury. Then you put Victor Scott in center field who can cover ground. You keep Jordan Walker in right field. And I think you have Alec Burleson be your DH to start off the year. If he is hitting well, keep him as your DH. And then you have Nolan Gorman play second base. And then you'll see what happens as Lars Nootbaar comes back. And this might not be a thing. Maybe Lars Nootbaar is ready for opening day. Who knows? It sounds like Tommy Edman will not be. So
no.
So we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I just with the way that, and we'll get into this, but the way that the rotation is looking right now in spring training, you have to have defense. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It looks like you need offense as well. You're going to give up a lot of runs. You might need to score. And if Dylan Carlson isn't hitting, if Victor Scott isn't hitting as well as you would like him to, but he's playing sound defense, if Mason Wynn isn't hitting, that's 3 batters where you're really – and the defense is good, but some of those balls are going to be unable to be reached regardless. So that doesn't matter who you got in the field.
Is losing funny?
I don't think losing is funny.
I gotta go with either Carlson, Scott, Walker. But if Carlson doesn't earn it out of spring training, I'm with Marsh, Donovan, Scott, Walker. If you're gonna preach defense, and we're gonna get into this conversation a little bit later on too. But if you're gonna preach defense, then play your best defenders. Carlson is one of your better outfielders from a defensive standpoint. But if he comes into spring training knowing that he has to do something to turn heads, and he's not hitting, then you haven't earned it. And I got to put Donovan out there, Gorman at second, and then Burleson, you can give the opportunity, like you said, to be your DH. You had a great spring training. You worked all off season. Hey, we don't feel overly comfortable right now putting you in left field, especially flanking, having Scott, a rookie, if he does make the team, flank Walker and you out there, but Burleson, you could be the DH.
So I do want to know this because I think it does matter. How much stock do you actually put into spring training? No, you say none. You don't.
It depends on who you are.
It matters not for you.
It depends on who you are.
If you are okay, all right. Let's say. So it depends on who you are.
Yes.
Brendan Donovan has shown you enough that you wouldn't worry about a 360 OPS in spring training?
No.
Dylan Carlson, has he shown you enough that you don't worry about a 390 OPS?
He has not shown me enough.
So Brendan, you're okay with what he's doing at the plate.
I know Dylan, Donovan can be a big leaguer.
You are concerned.
Carlson?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dylan Carlson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brendan Donovan has proved that he can be a big league starter. So I'm good with it. And this is somebody that's coming off of surgery. He missed some time at the end of last year. I don't weigh spring training for him
is that not
the
a
same way as Dylan
well,
Carlson.
Though?
It is if he starts the year.
You got injuries to Tommy Edman. You got injuries to Lars Newbar. You got an injury. They're recovering from the elbow surgery with Brendan Donovan.
Yeah.
That to me is all of those things are concerning. Like the outfield went from, man, we got too many guys out here. We got to send Jordan Walker down. We got too many guys to. We don't have we don't have nearly enough guys now because everyone's injured.
Carey,
Richie Palacios hit a huge home run the other day too. By the way,
that's your AL.
Yepes went for what?
That's your AL MVP.
Yeah, Juan Yepes. I like that guy.
No, Carey, I am concerned. Let me really define this. I am concerned about the amount of injuries that you have. If you're going to ask me about spring training, whether or not it matters. As much as I'm disturbed by the performances of Matz and Lynn and Gibson, ultimately they're big leaguers. They're veteran pitchers. I can't weigh my emotions versus what the reality is, and that it is spring training. Dylan Carlson, come on, dude. You are at a fork in the road. Donovan has done more than you at the big league level. I can give Donovan a pass if he has a rough spring training, coming off an injury in which he missed, two and a half months last year. I'm okay with with Donovan kind of figuring things out in spring training. Dylan Carlson's got a spark.
And Alec Burleson is hitting the hell out of the ball.
He's my DH.
Who are you going to put Nolan Gorman?
Second base.
Because Brendan Donovan is in
in left field.
So you just said defense matters.
And Donovan's a decent defender.
Yeah. Is he better at second base than Nolan Gorman?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So the question would be,
but I got injuries in the outfield.
The question would be, are you okay with Nolan Gorman? You're more okay with Nolan Gorman playing second base than you are with Alec Burleson playing left field.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah. Burleson might be, I know he's worked on stuff and the Cardinals are feeding us hey, he's doing all this, blah, blah. He was a liability last year. Gorman is not a liability at second base, not in my opinion.
But there are so many other factors that when I watch Nolan Gorman play second base, I just want him to swing the bat because I feel like injuries occur when he's out in the field. So I like Steph Curry playing defense. Don't play defense, Steph. Don't worry about it. You're going to get hurt.
It was James Harden approach.
Yeah. Just shoot, man.
That's worked out well.
He hadn't won, but he's got won some scoring titles.
I don't think you can afford another year of saying, we'll be fine pitching, we'll be fine defensively, we're going to bang. You didn't bang last year.
We just got a text, too, from the 314. Marsh, what part of last year didn't you understand about needing to score runs? You're worried about defense when you got starters that are leading the league last year in home runs. Defense don't matter when they're hitting over the field. And why would you want a guy that's coming off of surgery to be to being the outfield throwing? That makes absolutely no sense.
That's fine.
So I said some of those balls.
Did you watch? So this guy is accusing you of not watching last year. Did you see last year what happened when you did not have defense and you didn't have strong pitching? It didn't matter.
That's how
offensively. We all think like this offense is gonna be, the murderers row Yankees. It wasn't a year ago. We overhyped the hell out, and I'll take responsibility for that too. I overhyped it. I said, pitching will be fine. Defense is going to be good. It wasn't good. I don't care if you think you have a good lineup on paper. I'll read the damn stats off again to you when it comes to the NL Central. Forget Major League Baseball. When it came to the NL Central, the Cardinals, I believe, scored the 4th most runs in that division. I'll remind you, there's 5 teams in that division. So to the texter's point, if you're going to score 8 runs a game, fine. But you ain't scoring 8 runs a game.
Not if you got Alec Burleson sitting on the bench.
Oh, stop it.
He's going to be the DH.
Now all of a sudden, Alec Burleson's the key to the season. You stop it.
I don't know what the key to the season is.
Pitching and defense. Not just starting pitching, but pitching and defense.
It sounds boring, but that's how this team wins.
But we have this guy. You're absolutely right, Marsh. You're absolutely right. We want to talk so much about the fantasy baseball aspect of it. It's more fun to talk about the lineup than it is to talk about the pitching and the defense. I get it. The fantasy baseball aspect of it. It drives me even more crazy in football. You get to the draft, it's like, they need a receiver. Okay, you have no O-line and no pass rushers. By all means, get yourself a second wide receiver.
Yeah.
By all means, get the expensive running back. Put him in there. That's nice. He's got no O-line, no ability to stop the run defensively. Good luck. You're going to lose. Baseball, it's about pitching and it's about defense. And it really always has been. I'm not saying have the worst offense humanly imaginable. People hear us talk about pitching and defense. Oh, you're saying don't score runs. It's not important.
You got to score.
That's you saying that. I am putting a priority on what typically wins. Go ahead, Marsh.
We have a text from the 314. You're giving Donovan a pass because coming off injury, but didn't Carlson have injuries the past 2 years?
What has Dylan Carlson done at the big league level that Donovan has that Donovan has not?
Dylan Carlson was.
If we want to cherry pick, how about you cherry pick Donovan's numbers compared to Carlson's numbers at the big league level?
I think you know what you're going to get from Brendan Donovan.
Thank you.
You have no idea what you're getting from Dylan Carlson.
I know if Donovan steps in the box, he's going to see 567 pitches. He does not care if he runs it. If he runs into one, great. If not, he knows exactly who he is as a hitter. Get on base. What are we getting out of Carlson? I fought for Carlson last year. Mm-hmm. At some point, you have to say, if he doesn't show you something, then believe that. At some point, these players say, this is who I am. And you say, okay, I believe you. I would love to see Dylan Carlson pan out. Top prospect, homegrown talent, all that. That'd be great. Donovan has actually done something. It hasn't been a 9-year career, but he's certainly done more than Carlson. So are you giving him the benefit of the doubt based on injury? No. But I am giving him the benefit of the doubt based on the sample size that we have.
I got a text from the 870. Donovan will not and cannot play center field. That's what you're getting.
No.
Blank.
Yeah, we're not. We don't have him in center field. Nobody had him in center field. His mother doesn't have him in center field. I don't know where you're getting this. His best friend, who would try to take a bullet for him, doesn't have him in center field. Nobody has him in center field.
You got him in left field.
You have him in left field. Victor Scott would be in center field in this scenario. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Everybody feel good?
This is Kirk Cousins Day, and I'm pissed off.
Damn it!
This is Kirk Cousins put the money in the bag day, and you got me ticked off today on Kirky Cousins Day.
Don't be mad at Kirk. He's just doing his job.
You know? On 9 and 8 day, you got me ticked off.
Doing his job. And doing it well. Made a lot of money doing it.
Accountability.
He made a lot of money to win
Desmond
one
Ritter.
playoff game. Desmond Ritter. Please cut him.
Offense.
Yeah, that's right. What's trending is next on 101 ESPN. Go with Mosby Building Arts if you're looking to do a home renovation. It doesn't have to be a kitchen. It doesn't have to be a bath. It could be anything. It could be siding. It could be a smaller project. But Mosby Building Arts is going to do it right the first time. You think you're saving money by doing a whole bunch of different calls and contractor work, but you don't have a team working behind you. And when you don't have a team that's all on the same page, a lot of time that's how you get a lot of the delays or the unexpected costs. Not at Mosby Building Arts. A homeowner called Mosby at one point, had purchased a house that the previous owner had tried to do the DIY themselves the year before. They had made updates that just were good enough to sell, and then within the first year of being in the house, numerous issues came to light, especially one in particular in the bathroom. There was a plumbing leak. The toilet ring was not installed correctly. They found out the exhaust fan didn't vent anywhere. They had to tear out the wall, realized the previous homeowner had gotten no inspections, to name a few. They called Mosby for help to start the entire bathroom over from scratch. That's great because Mosby did a tremendous job. But imagine if they called it Mosby first. Had they done that, they would have got the right remodeling company to do it right the first time. Trust me, you're not saving money over the long haul. You're creating more headaches for you by not calling Mosby the first time. So give Mosby a call at 314-909-1800. Tell them Stalter sent you. Or you can visit them at callmosby.com. It's Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company.
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Speaking of Marsh, we got What's Trending.
Yeah, guys, I know the big NFL news is that, Anthony, you finally have your quarterback, Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
You just grabbed him right from me, and you took him away.
Yeah.
You're going to go win a NFC South championship, baby.
Sure.
Had some T-shirts. That's what you get when you win a championship.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hopefully you make
They got their more expensive version of Derek Carr.
Yeah.
They were hoping for it. How lazy do you have to be, by the way, to take nothing but running backs and wide receivers in the first round and then turn around and pay a 36-year-old quarterback exactly what he was asking for?
Big brain.
That's a GM right there.
Big brain.
Terry Fontenot just doing his thing in Atlanta.
What did they need, Anthony?
They needed a quarterback.
What did they get, Anthony?
They overpaid for one. They got one.
This sounds like the just get 3 starters. They got 3 starters. Your 3 starters ERA is like 100.
Yeah.
When they're playing in the Super Bowl, you don't get to cheer because you don't like Kirk Cousins.
No, I like Kirk Cousins.
Well,
I
you won't
just
get to
know
cheer because they won't be there.
No, it's a good signing. It's a good sign, and they needed a quarterback. I would have rather had them get their franchise quarterback in the draft, but now they'll be a contender in the NFC South, the worst division in football. They're basically they've turned themselves into the Cardinals. You know, they got a just get in mentality, and they'll be fine. And then in a couple of years, when Kirk Cousins' play really falls off, they won't be in position to draft a guy. So they'll be right back here in 2 years after winning 1 NFC South championship and 0 playoff wins.
So another thing that I found interesting today, Josh Jacobs reached an agreement with the Packers. So,
good pairing.
Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones.
Yeah, good pairing,
good
huh?
for Packer fans. Not so fast, my friend.
Lee
Aaron
Corso.
Jones was told that he is being released. Per sources, Adam Schefter tweeted out today.
Yeah, I heard that they restructured the deal. I'm like, wow, that's a pretty good quarterback tandem. Or running back tandem. Why would you dump Aaron Jones for Josh Jacobs?
I have no clue.
Not that Josh Jacobs is bad or anything, but
Aaron Jones is really good.
Aaron Jones led you to the playoff when he came back last year. Coupled, of course, with Jordan Love playing well, that was the difference.
And that Dallas game, he went off. He had a hell of a game.
He looked good against San Francisco too.
I don't know, man. The NFL is and I told you, 29, 30 years old. Aaron Jones is 29, approaching the 30-year age mark, and you know he'll be 30 this season in December. So it's whenever you start knocking on that 30,
so they're getting ahead of it.
Yeah, unfortunately for him,
they got their guy and they're getting ahead of it.
All right. Hopefully he gets picked up.
Maybe he goes to Minnesota. Shoves it where the sun don't shine.
That'd be great.
That would be great for him.
Be like Brett Favre going back to went from the Packers, obviously threw the Jets in there, but then went to the Vikings, took him to the NFC Championship game, threw a terrible interception. Granted, I wasn't a fan at the time. I was rooting for the lowly Rams, but, maybe Aaron Jones will sign them because they need a running back.
They do.
Yeah.
And they need a quarterback.
Yeah.
And they need an offensive line.
Yeah.
They need everything.
Well, that's why you let Kirk Cousins go because he's going to command $100 million guaranteed.
But you got
and you can't build a team that way.
Justin Jefferson.
They do have JJ. They got some good defensive pieces as well that they've been signing. So I'm excited for that. T. Higgins, he requested a trade out of Cincinnati, reportedly hoping to stay with the Bengals long term, but he's disappointed that he and the team haven't had contract discussions since March of 2023.
Unpopular opinion, but I would trade him. His value is high.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to re-sign him, and it's really not smart to. You have a number 1 wide receiver, and you're paying the quarterback too. You're paying Chase, you're paying Burrow. You can't pay everybody. To pay 2 wide receivers top dollar, as well as the quarterback, is not smart from a Caps standpoint. I would trade T. Higgins, not because I don't want him, not because he doesn't make my offense better, but because I can't build a successful roster around Joe Burrow. I'm not building a roster behind, around 2 wide receivers, so I would deal him.
I probably would as well. I agree. You can't. I say this all the time. Once you pay that quarterback the amount of money that you're going to pay them,
right.
it just shrinks your possibilities in terms of what you can add onto the roster and who you can pay. Everyone in that locker room knows when the quarterback gets paid, our pool of money just got shrinked. And so somebody that we love and admire and really has helped this team probably won't be here in the foreseeable future. And right now, T. Higgins is that player. And you're probably looking at at worst a second-round pick for T. Higgins.
Yeah.
I mean, if Chase Claypool fetched you a second-round pick,
seriously,
you can definitely get at least a second-round pick for T. Higgins, and maybe more, maybe a player, maybe a second and a fifth, something like that, where you can really help to build your roster up.
Yep. Some wide receiver desperate team could look at the situation and say,
Chicago Bears?
Is Higgins worth a second-round pick? Absolutely.
Last thing here, we got a text or a question from the Snake Pit. Tanisha wants to know, what are your thoughts about Mac Jones being on the Jacksonville Jaguars as a backup?
I think they upgraded their backup spot. Maybe.
Maybe.
CJ Beathard was there. Did they upgrade? They probably did.
Are you surprised that the Patriots just moved on from him?
No, absolutely not.
What's he? His fourth year?
Yes.
This is going to be his fourth year?
Yes.
You're not surprised. I mean, no. They did him a disservice. You had Matt Patricia calling offensive plays at one point. Mm-hmm. Matt Patricia's a defensive coordinator.
How did he do last year with Bill O'Brien?
How do you do it? No.
I mean, that last year count. We do this with Ollie sometimes. Last year counted, and so did 2 years ago.
The thing that's important, especially for younger quarterbacks, if you are changing systems every year or twice in a year or two, it's so hard. And I'm not saying that Mac Jones is a good quarterback. I'm not defending him. But I think you do them a disservice when you don't have consistent play calling or competent play calling. You're putting them at a disadvantage because learning a new system, it's like learning a new system is like learning a new language.
Sure.
It's completely different verbiage from what you just went through. And trying to be able to process all of those things year after year after year is extremely, extremely difficult to do. So, I mean, I think I was just surprised that they moved on from him. Not even to keep him in a backup role.
But if I'm bringing in Jaden Daniels or Drake May or
you still need a backup.
Whoever, I'll find a backup.
I thought he was. I've heard some things. Who knows if they're true or not? But he just did not really gel well in the locker room.
Yeah,
I think there were some issues there. So that's probably why they just want a clean slate.
Right.
And let's just move on.
Yeah. I always thought that. I mean, look, the kid won a national title. So obviously he's talented. He was a first-round pick. I never saw him as a first-round pick.
I didn't either.
He to me was a mid-round talent. Like if you just look at the arm strength, the processing ability, all that, he looked to me every bit of a third rounder. And then you had the Patriots and the 49ers clamoring for him. I never got that. So I think the league told you what they thought of Mac Jones when he fell to 15, and now the Patriots are telling you, yeah, we had him in the building. He's worth a 6th-round pick. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
All right, Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Are the Blues not getting the best bang for their buck? No, they're not. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and it's March, and it is a critical time to check your home's windows. If yours are cracked or leaking, won't open or stay open, now is the time to call Window Nation. You can buy 2 windows and get 2 free windows, plus 0 down, 0 interest, and make 0 payments for 24 months. Plus, you can get a pair of Cardinals tickets with the purchase of House of Windows. March, the weather is changing. Again, you need to make sure that those windows are sealed properly. You don't want to let the cool air out when you start turning on the AC, because who knows? It's St. Louis. You might have the AC on one day. You might have the heat on the next day. But whatever you have in, you want to keep the heat in or you want to keep the air in. You don't want it seeping out. You don't want to have to get the rest of the neighborhood what you're getting. You can install those, Window Nation can install those new windows in a day or less, and the windows come with a lifetime warranty. All you need to do is reach out to them at 866-90-NATION or go online at windownation.com. Again, that's 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, and you can go get that done now. The install will take 1 day. 866-90-NATION or windownation.com.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues lost over the weekend 4-0 to the New York Rangers. Tonight they'll take on the Boston Bruins. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. Over the weekend, St. Louis City SC played to a 2-2 draw against Austin FC. They'll take on LA Galaxy next week in their next game. Both matchups last year, City SC and LA, they both tied. They played to a draw in both matches last season. And the Cardinals lost today. We'll talk more about the Cardinals. But next, we're getting into the Blues. Are the Blues not getting the best bang for their buck? That's coming your way next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Are the Blues not getting their best bang, getting the best bang for the buck? Yeah, I would say yeah. Blues Views on Twitter at STO to sign/acquire veteran players with no intentions to win. You may want to choose the right ones. Army chose the wrong direction and the wrong players. This is the point I often poorly make when I try to talk about the Cardinals. It's not about spending money. It's about spending money wisely. And isn't that the case for all sports or in any walk of life? No, the Blues are not getting the most bang for their buck. They are overpaying for the production that they're getting, which is the overall problem, Carey. It's why they're in this position.
Is that Doug Armstrong's fault?
Yeah.
See, I don't agree. I mean, you sign players or you hire people based on their track record, which means at the bare minimum, I expect you to do what you have already done. Mm-hmm. If you are not doing what you already, I expect you to do what you've already done and hopefully exceed that. But if the baseline, when you get here, lowers, that's not necessarily my fault. That's the player's fault. That's the player not living up to the standard that they have already set for themselves and the amount of play that they're supposed to have.
Sure.
I think we put a lot of pressure on Doug Armstrong. We ask a lot of Mo, but at the end of the day, I sign players. Now, and sometimes with Mo, you can probably say, yeah, you could do more, but the players that you do sign, those players have to perform. If players don't perform, we as players know this is our livelihood. If I don't meet the standards that I have already set, and again, exceed those standards, I'm probably going to be out of a job at some point. You know, and depending on how much money you're making, it may take longer because teams may say, we can't afford to cut them or we can't afford to release them or move them. But as a player, your job is to perform. And I think some of these guys right now are underperforming. When you watch this team, I think the thing that's probably most frustrating, I talked to my team one time about don't let go of the rope. You know, if you're hanging off the side of a cliff and all you got to hold on to is a rope, you're going to hold on for dear life. Well, when you watch this team, sometimes it feels like they're just letting go. Like, Jamie talked about it. No goals in 5-on-5 in the last 9 games in the third period. Mm-hmm. You're just letting go. You're giving in and succumbing to whatever is in front of you and presenting whatever challenges are in front of you instead of pushing through, going forward and saying, the hell with this. I'm going to fight my butt off for myself and for my teammates and to make sure that I can be the best version so we can score, so we can have an opportunity to win games. And right now, it feels like we heard Doug Armstrong last week. I don't think we're out of it. He may not think that, but it feels like certain players are looking like, we've ruined this. We've blown this opportunity because you were in the second spot in the wild card. Now there are 4 teams in front of you. Mm-hmm. You will have a hard time fighting your way back into the playoffs.
I agree that the players they should be held accountable too. Yeah, you're making money to perform, and you're not performing based on your track record. So I agree with that aspect, Carey. But when we think of whether it's a president of baseball or hockey operations or the GM, we often look at their job as building a puzzle. They're not building a puzzle. They are painting a picture. Building a puzzle is, I think, what you just described. If I sign Brandon Saad for this amount of money, I'm going to get this amount of production, and I'm going to fit everything together, so it's going to be under the cap, and then I got a puzzle. Mm-hmm. I think it's more painting a picture because you have decisions to make on every brush stroke, to use that analogy. If you sign Brandon Saad, it means you can't sign 3 other players.
Right.
Whether it's re-signing players or signing somebody. So essentially, you're making a decision to choose Brandon Saad or to choose Braden Shen or to trade Kevin Hayes. You make the deal for Kevin Hayes, there's consequences if it doesn't work out. It precludes you from getting another player. You sign Nick Leddy, let David Perron go. It's painting that overall picture. And right now, the painting doesn't look good for Doug Armstrong. So I don't think it's just about paying somebody for the past production. I think that's actually how GMs and presidents get into trouble.
Well, and we got a couple of texts here. CD, if you're going to use that justification of him signing guys based on past production, then why didn't they re-sign Alex Pietrangelo and David Perron? Good question. That would be a question you would have to ask. Maybe the amount, the money, maybe the movement clauses that were asked for. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. And so you go in a different route. It doesn't mean it was right. It was a decision, and you brought those guys in, the guys that you did sign, based on what they had done other places in hopes of, as you said, painting that picture to make the team better. Those guys have to perform, though. Like, they have to. And I know it's frustrating when you see Pietrangelo not here and you see Perron not here. That's frustrating for Blues fans because you know what they brought to the team. But your hopes were, if you moved on from the guys that were coming in, were going to be able to have success or do at least to that level. That's on the players. And again, you can fault the GM, you can fault Armstrong for not making those re-signings, but at the end of the day, who you bring in is people that you think are going to help this team. The Atlanta Falcons just signed Kirk Cousins. Why? Because he is an upgrade. They believe from what they have, and he's going to make their team better. That's what all of this is about, finding players that will help your team be better. And if Kirk Cousins goes out there and plays worse than Desmond Ridder, the Falcons are going to lose. It is what it is. But they signed him based on what he's done.
But so if we're going to use that, if we're going to go down that road, you also kind of sold out your future for the immediate too. You soaked up a lot of cap space for the epitome of average, just because you've had well below average production.
But isn't that how that works? People overreact based on what they have in place at this time?
But the way you're saying that means that the way I'm kind of interpreting what you're saying is that I don't have a choice. I do have a choice. I don't agree with, well, look what you had. You had Desmond Ridder. It cost me, if I'm the Falcons, $100 million in guaranteed money to sign this mother blanker. I'm not just going to say, oh, good. Yeah, good. We're doing the SEAL thing. Good job. You upgraded. That upgrade comes with a price. And if I made the wrong decision, and I'm Terry Fontenot, the GM, I should be absolutely crucified if it doesn't work out. So going back to Doug Armstrong, it's not just about, I'm signing the guys because it's an upgrade. You're making a choice.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, I do think it's on
But the players gotta play.
I'm with you on that.
Marshy has said what did you say earlier? You would rather watch the Blues
I'd rather
turn
watch
over the puck.
At the blue lines than watch Sam Darnold be the Vikings quarterback. But
what is he saying? They're turning it over at an alarming rate. The second goal that the Rangers scored Friday, was it Friday or Saturday? Saturday, was egregious.
Oh, it just can't happen.
It was egregious.
It's happened like 3 times in the last 2 weeks.
But Doug Armstrong didn't pass that puck. He didn't.
But he did sign those players.
But they have, when you, again, he did. But when you have a player that is not playing at the top of his level or his ability, that is not on me. It's frustrating for me. And that's why I say I think people give too much credit to coaches and front office members, because win, lose, or draw, they don't play one snap. They don't pass one puck. They don't take one shot. They don't pitch one pitch. We're pissed off at Ollie all the time. I did not see Ollie throw one pitch last year. I didn't. He has a uniform on, I think. He wears a sweatshirt on, but I don't know if he has a jersey on. He has the pants on. People get pissed off about that too. But I didn't see him stand in the batter's box one time. We put so much pressure and so much blame on people that do not play the game when the players actually have to play, and they have to play better. And that's my overall point.
I think both can be true, though. I think you can put some of the blame on Armstrong for how this roster was constructed and how things got to be where they're at now and how it was handled too. There was a lot of drama surrounding the whole Pietrangelo thing. There was a lot of drama surrounding Perron, and Perron came out and was like, I'm surprised. I'm surprised I didn't get this offer or whatnot. So I think some people are irritated about that, but it can also be true that you have to get the puck in once you hit the red line. Dump it in. You can't just flutter it, soft chip when the D-man are changing. You can't pass the puck up the middle of the ice when there's no one to pass it to and turn the puck over. That is on the players, but I think both things can be true.
I agree with the coaching stuff. I agree with what you said about Ollie. And if you replaced Ollie with Drew Bannister, I'd agree with you on that. But I think too many GMs get praised for signing
I don't think
people.
they should either.
They get praised for signing people in the off seasons. Like, oh, nice job. You signed somebody. That's the easy way to go about it. Free agency is actually you're atoning for your mistakes. Let's be real about that. You're hiring mercenaries. You didn't draft those guys. In most situations, you didn't draft those guys.
Right.
You signed them because you had a weakness. Why did you have a weakness? Because you didn't draft and develop that position. If I was a GM, I would look to sign absolutely nobody. I'd be trying to draft guys. That's the ultimate success. They're in our culture.
Draft
They're in our
and develop
situation.
them.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah. Now I'm not saying there's that would be my goal. Not that wouldn't be realistic. 'Cause you're always going to have some areas of weaknesses on your roster. But these teams that, like today, you're signing all these big deals. The Falcons give $100 million to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins hasn't won more than one playoff game, I don't think. Why did they do that? Because you blanked up. You blanked up with Drew. Yeah, exactly. So
You didn't draft well.
that's got to fall on somebody at some point.
I think, well, when we're talking about, so people get frustrated with Jordan Carew and the contract, and that's essentially, I think, what this all boils down to. Because last year it felt like it was Ryan O'Reilly and Tarasenko versus Jordan Carew and Robert Thomas. Mm-hmm. And they went with the younger route, right? They made a decision based on contract situations. We're going to go the younger route. The issue is the contract, to me, is not the issue. Because he's a player that can live up to that contract. The part about people and players is this person going to be dialed in every day? And that's the part where, as a general manager, it's more of it's not just hockey or it's not just baseball. It's psychological. How does this person respond under pressure? How does this person respond to criticism? How does this person respond when it's going tough? Is he going to push harder, or is he going to say, I don't have to do all that. I got my money. Those are the questions I think that should be asked, as opposed to, can this player play? Hell yeah, he can play. He's in the National Hockey League. He's 1% of the people in the world. I've never skated him. I would never be in the National Hockey League. Most people that are listening could never be in the National Hockey League. He is. But how is he as a person? How does he respond to things? And I think that's part of the issue that they have right now. It's not the play or the ability. It's what's going on upstairs.
All right, we'll have a very quick update on what's going on right now in the legal tampering in the NFL before the Gauntlet. That's next on 101 ESPN. Hey, you know, with the weather coming, the spring coming, the weather means that it's warming up a little bit. But as you know, we're going to get a lot of rain. And if your roof needs an update, or if you need a new roof, period, got to give Happy Roof Company a call. They do a tremendous job with residential and with commercial roofing. They have superior high-end products. If you are a resident someplace and you need financing to get yourself a new roof, they have financing available at Happy Roof Company. Great relationships with realtors as well. So if you're selling a home, or maybe you're updating a home that you're intending to sell, they give you detailed inspection reports for real estate transactions. 100% of their market is also in St. Louis and the surrounding areas. They know St. Louis. They know the weather. They know the products here. Their headquarters, in fact, is out in South County at Sunset Hills. Cost-effective solutions on flat roofing and metal roofs. Free estimates with competitive pricing as well. And when you call Happy Roof Company today, they're going to have someone to look at your issue within 24 hours. So if you got a leaky roof, an older roof, a damaged roof, an ugly roof, call the Happy Roof Company today at 314-665-3001 or visit them at thehappyroof.com. We're going to give you a couple of minutes because we do need a new Gauntlet contestant. So if you want to play in the Gauntlet, text in 314-399-9646 to the Air Comfort Service text line. Real quick, because we got to get to the Gauntlet, we're just going to go over some of the signings in the National Football League. Now, this is called the legal tampering period. That's because the new league year doesn't open until Wednesday, but teams were signing players or having conversations with players, and the league was like, all right, fine, we'll just have this legal tampering period for, the first 2 days before the league starts. But all the deals are getting done. The big ones today, Kirk Cousins, worst kept secret in the NFL. He signs with the Falcons. Ooh. He gets paid 4 years, $100 million guaranteed. He gets 180 overall. The deal is... I was looking at this. The deal is essentially a 2-year deal. Like, all the money's up front. All the money's in the first 2 years. So if he doesn't work out, they'll probably move on after the last two. But they pay a premium to upgrade that spot. They needed to upgrade it. But, again, it comes at a major cost for a guy that really hasn't done anything playoff-wise. But he's going to put up good numbers. You know what you're going to get. He's going to put up really good numbers. He's going to give you a chance to win the division, and then, you'll lose either in the first or second round. So the Falcons are just kind of taking the easy way out with that, and they're going to pay to do so. Josh Jacobs, former running back of the Raiders, signs with the Packers, or is expected to sign with the Packers. And the news there is that what's interesting is that they're going to release Aaron Jones to do so.
It's kind of weird.
I think it's very weird. But like you said, maybe they're getting ahead of it. Aaron Jones is going to be, 29? Yep. Almost 30? Yeah. So they're getting ahead of it. Saquon Barkley agrees to a deal with the Eagles, 3 years, $37.8 million. So he kind of gets paid.
I like this deal for Saquon. And I like the fact that he's going to Philadelphia. I think, again, in the division, the New York Giants will be frustrated about that because he's going to have a hell of a career there. And hopefully they allow him to run the football and have some success. He is a dynamic football player. So I think he's going to have a really good time in Philadelphia.
And, of course, he played at Penn State, so kind of a good fit there. Yep. Adam Schefter reported that the Eagles also signed Bryce Huff, formerly of the Jets, to a 3-year deal worth $51.5 million. I think it's the largest contract for a non-quarterback that was undrafted. So good for Bryce Huff.
Awesome.
So the Eagles get their guy there. No news yet on Justin Fields. We don't know really what his market is now that the Steelers signed Russell Wilson to a 1-year deal last night, and Kirk Cousins goes to Atlanta. Baker Mayfield yesterday also re-upped with the Buccaneers. So the three teams that a lot of people thought, well, maybe Justin Fields would be a good spot for those. They've all got their quarterback to some. Yeah, seat's taken is right. Christian Wilkins, a former defensive tackle for the Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, agrees to a 4-year, $110 million contract with the Raiders. So it's another bigger deal. The Jaguars, after acquiring Mac Jones yesterday for the equivalent of a ham sandwich, get Gabe Davis today, formerly of the Bills.
The Jaguars get Gabe Davis.
The Jaguars
they're kind of stacked.
The Jaguars got Gabe Davis.
Is Calvin Ridley still there?
He's a free agent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to bet on it.
Coming back.
Nope. Packers also released David Bakhtiari.
Oh, really?
Yep.
When was the last time he played?
It's been a while. He's got bad knees.
It's been a moment.
Knees hurt.
He'll probably retire.
He's had more appearances on Twitter than he has on the field.
Ian Rappaport reported that the Titans have agreed to terms with former Cowboys running back Tony Pollard on a 3-year, $24 million contract. The Titans are not in on now re-signing Derrick Henry, so Derrick Henry's still a bigger name that's out there. The Jaguars and Patriots are expected to make pushes for Calvin Ridley, according to Jeremy Fowler. So we just mentioned him. And the Bills have signed Deion Dawkins to a 3-year, $60.5 million contract extension. DeAndre Swift, formerly of the Eagles, gets a 3-year, $24.5 million deal from the Bears. So the Bears are spending money. They're spending a bunch of money. They re-signed their cornerback a couple of days ago, and they signed a safety, I believe, too.
Bears could have just kept David Montgomery a couple years ago.
Yeah, they could have. But now they got DeAndre Swift.
It's kind of a carousel.
It's fine.
You could have just traded him, right?
Yeah, they could have. All right, Gauntlet. Gauntlet is next on 101 ESPN. I always like calling my guy Stewie when there's possible news that we need to be aware of. And with Stewie on the line right now from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. So I got to ask you, what's going on this upcoming Wednesday? What do we need to know?
Okay, so this Wednesday is the new inflation report for last month. So inflation is going up and down. The markets are a little bit jittery, thinking that inflation is going to be stubborn, and this is more incentive for the Federal Reserve not to cut the interest rates, which means interest rates may pop back up. This March 20th, the Federal Reserve is meeting again. If that report is negative and we're not coming down the inflation front, you can see interest rates go up another 0.5%. So if you're in the market to buy a home or you're in the market to refinance, you're better off locking it now. If interest rates go down more than 0.5%, we can float you down anyway, but take advantage now before it pops back up.
There you go. And to take advantage, you got to call Stewie or you could text him because it is his personal cell phone number that he hands out at 314-324-4440. Again, 314-324-4440, or you can always Google the bagel loan. Thanks, Stewie.
Have a good one.
NMLS number 226715.
Warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
405, your time check is brought to you by Carlson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. We welcome in Blake to the Gauntlet. What's up, Blake?
Not too much. How you guys doing?
We're doing good today. Are you a first-timer?
I am. Long-time listener, first-time player.
Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for playing today. Would you like to take on Marsh, Carey, or me?
Ooh. You know what? I'll take on Anthony.
All right. Here we go. All right, Blake. Good luck to you, man.
Thank you.
All right. Anthony Stalter is heading into the cone of silence. He's out of here. All right, Blake. You ready to roll? Which topic would you prefer?
I would prefer baseball,
okay,
but I hope to avoid random.
All right. Well, tell Marcia to spin that wheel, and let's see.
All right, Marcy, spin the wheel.
He would prefer baseball and does not want random, Marsh. So let's see what we can do for him. Well.
Oh, boy.
Blake, well, you let him know, Marsh.
Blake, it is random today. That is the category.
This is how the wheel works. I don't know why it does that. It's unfortunate.
Anthony so far is only 1-0 in random.
Okay.
So he might not be that great either.
Well,
I was listening last week when Carey said he didn't want random, and he ended up winning. So who knows? Maybe I'm in good fortune today.
There you go.
Random worries me. All right, Blake, you know how this works. We'll ask you a question. If you get the answer without any options, it's 2 points. If you need an option, it's 1 point. If you get it wrong, it's 0 points. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. How many stripes are there on the American flag?
I'll need the options on that one.
Is it 8, 13, or 16?
I will choose 13. Final answer.
Question number 2. Last night, Robert Downey Jr. won Best Supporting Actor for his role in the movie Oppenheimer. For which film did Downey previously earn his first Oscar nomination?
I'm going to need the options on that one, too.
Options are Chaplin, Richard III, or is it Richard III? I've never seen the movie.
I have neither.
Or Tropic Thunder.
I haven't seen two of them, and I remember Tropic Thunder, but I don't think you get one for that. So I'll go with Chaplin, I guess, on a hunch.
Final answer?
Yeah, why not?
All right, question number 3. A puffer fish has how many teeth?
Options.
Is it 4, 12, or 24?
12. Final answer.
And question number 4. Billy Joel landed his first Billboard #1 hit in July 1980. Name that song.
I need the options on that one, too.
Options are Uptown Girl, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, or She's Always a Woman.
Uptown Girl, final answer.
All right.
All righty. You wave him in?
I did wave Anthony in.
All right, Anthony. Sure.
I don't know where he's at, though.
I don't know.
He just disappeared.
He must be running from you, Blake. I don't know. Oh, there he is. I thought you were hiding. We couldn't find you. You were. We looked in the corner.
He's right there.
I don't tell you.
Well, open up the door. I had to put the thing back under it. Takes a second. The door stop thingy.
That's what that is called. All right, Anthony.
Yes.
Cone of Silence was good.
Yes.
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should I not be?
Pack a lunch.
Okay.
All right, Anthony. Eddie Belfour ranks where on all-time wins in the NHL?
Eddie Belfour.
Hey, don't worry about it. That's not your option.
All right.
You just pulled out a random
Eddie Belfour mention. Nice job there, Carey. So it's not NHL.
It's not NHL. It is actually random.
I don't know if that's better or worse. I guess we'll find out.
Question number 1. How many stripes are there on the American flag?
There's 50 stars to represent the 50 states, and there are 13 stripes to represent the 13 original colonies, I believe. So 13. Final answer.
Question number 2. Last night, Robert Downey Jr. won Best Supporting Actor for his role in the movie Oppenheimer. For which film did Downey previously earn his first Oscar nomination?
I mean, probably should have won it for all the Iron Man movies that he did. But usually, I always like to watch award shows because I usually get ticked off. It's all the movies I never want to watch ever.
Never seen, never heard.
Never seen, never heard. So I'm going to need the options on this, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to pick the one that I would least want to see.
Okay. We have Chaplin.
That's up there.
Richard III.
Never heard of it.
Tropic Thunder.
I have seen that, and it's excellent, so we'll throw that out there. We'll throw that out. Chaplin would piss me off, so let's go Chaplin. Final answer. Never heard of the other one.
All right. Question number 3. A pufferfish has how many teeth?
I have no idea. Options, please.
Is it 4, 12, or 24?
4? Sure, 4. Final answer.
Question number 4. Billy Joel landed his first Billboard #1 hit in July 1980. Name that song.
Billy Joel? The one that just keeps coming to me is Uptown Girl. I'll just go with that. Uptown Girl. Final answer.
Alrighty.
I probably should have took the options on that last one.
We strictly play 80s Joel music, sir.
Catalina wine mixer.
All right. Here we go. Ready?
I don't know.
Well, you got to be.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen with or without you.
It's going to happen with or without you. You're right. All right, let's start with question number 1. How many stripes are there on the American flag? Blake, you said 13. Anthony, you said 13. The answer is...
It is 13.
But Anthony didn't need the options.
All right.
It's 2-1. Question number 2. On Sunday night, Robert Downey Jr. won Best Supporting Actor for his role in the movie Oppenheimer. For which film did Downey previously earn his first Oscar nomination? Blake, you said Chaplin. Anthony, you said Chaplin.
Probably use the same logic.
The correct answer is...
Gentlemen, it is Chaplin.
Job.
You guys know your music. Not
What's
music,
going
your
on?
movie award
Nice.
history.
Movies.
Yeah.
Music. The score is 3-2, Anthony. Question number 4. Billy Joel landed his first Billboard hit in July 1980. Name that song. Blake, you said Uptown Girl.
Wow.
Anthony, you said Uptown Girl. Blake used the options. Anthony, you did not. The correct answer is...
Gentlemen, it's still rock and roll to me.
Oh,
not Uptown Girl.
is that an option at least?
Yeah.
Oh, obviously it's an
Uptown Girl
option
was
because
an
Blake said,
option.
okay. All right. Yep.
The score is still 3-2. Going into the final answer.
Uh-oh.
Final question, excuse me. A puffer fish has how many teeth? Blake, you went with 12. Anthony, you went with 4. If the answer is 12, well, we have a walk-off. The answer is 4. Anthony, you will win it.
Or if it's 24, right?
If it's 24, you win it as well.
4, 24. Just
Either
have,
or. Have
just
a
have a 4 in it.
There you go. Yeah. Blake.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Not today.
The answer was 4. Oh. You got it right. 4-2 is the final.
Total guess on that one. All right. Blake, nice job, man. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, thank you too. Have a good day, guys.
You too.
Thanks, Blake.
Thanks for playing. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you, Blake.
Were you
Thank you.
worried about the Ed Belfour question?
Oh, yeah, of course. Absolutely. Then I got a question about a puffer fish.
I don't know.
4? They got 4 teeth?
4.
Yeah, it's fused together into a beak-like form.
Okay.
Sounds scary.
Learn something new every day, don't you?
Are you going to go home and watch Chaplin tonight?
I am more likely to watch all of the Iron Mans again than I am Chaplin.
You'll watch the Blues game tonight.
You listen to Uptown Girl on the way home?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Just asking.
You guys Billy Joel fans?
I know Uptown Girl. I never heard of the other one. So.
It's
still
only
rock and roll to me.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I have
You've
heard
heard
that.
that, yeah.
I have heard that.
All right, good stuff, gentlemen. We do have the Sports Six-Pack coming up in 15 minutes, so if you want to get your questions in now to the Air Comfort Service text line, fantastic. 314-399-9646. Again, Sports Six-Pack coming up in 15 minutes. But can the rotation afford an outfield of Carlson, Walker, and Burleson? Get back into that discussion next on 101 ESPN. Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they've got great deals on new Nissans throughout the month of March. In fact, new Nissan Altimas up to $4,000 off MSRP. Plus, you can finance for only $499 down and $499 a month for 84 months. Not a lease on that one. You could get your car, get it paid off quickly, and get yourself a brand new Nissan courtesy of Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. The offer also includes 30-day new car return promise within 30 days. If you want to bring the vehicle back for any reason, no problem. As long as you're within that 30-day window, they're good with it. Complimentary lifetime warranty, complimentary one-year maintenance as well on all new Nissans, not just new Nissan Altimas. If you're not in the market for Nissan Altimas, Check out the over 700 vehicles they have on their lot at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Different makes and models when it comes to their pre-owned vehicles. Of course, they've got brand new Nissan Pathfinders and Nissan Rogues to go along with some Nissan Altimas. Whatever you're looking for from make or model or color or feature standpoint, Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they've got you covered. Check them out in Herculaneum or online at autocentersnissan.com. I don't want to steal Marsh's thunder on this one because Marsh actually made a really good point when we were doing our pre-show meeting. He said, how can the Cardinals preach defense but not have Victor Scott on the opening day roster, assuming that Victor Scott can continue to have a nice spring training here? Marsh, I completely agree with you. Absolutely. If you're going to preach defense, but then you're going to go with an outfield that's like Dylan Carlson flanked by Alec Burleson and Jordan Walker to start the year, then you're really not serious about defense. Mm-hmm. You're going with offense. And if that's the case, then tell us you're going with offense, and that's your identity. I wouldn't agree with it, but at least you're being truthful. I know Alec Burleson has worked on his defense. I don't see Alec Burleson being an above-average defender. I think Victor Scott has the opportunity to win a Gold Glove at some point if he plays, and he could prove they could hit big league pitching and stay at the big league level. So when it comes to the rotation, can you afford to have an outfield that includes Burleson and Walker, two guys that at best are still learning on the job defensively? Can you afford that while also putting Carlson in center field, who will be fine, when you have a starting rotation the way you do? I say no.
You don't want Dylan Carlson in.
I want Dylan Carlson to earn a job.
So your outfield was Donovan, Victor Scott, and Jordan Walker.
If Carlson does not earn the job out of spring training, I'd be fine with Carlson, Victor Scott, and Walker.
Okay. Because that's the best defensive lineup, correct?
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yes, it would be. In the outfield, yeah.
Yeah. In the outfield.
With Tommy Edman on the
with
injured
and Lars Newbar injured.
Correct.
I would be okay with that. I think at some point, though, you're going to have to – it has to be balanced because if Dylan Carlson isn't hitting well, we don't know if Mason Wynn is going to hit well. And this is just because we haven't seen enough of it yet, right? We don't know if Victor Scott is going to hit well. I think that could be problematic. Yeah, you guys are doing great in the outfield. Although some of those balls we can't get to, even if we were Shaquille. But
If that's not Shaquille O'Neal and left, that party's out of here.
But at the end of the day, you still also have to be balanced and have to be able to do a good job at the plate.
Yeah.
Because if you're giving up runs and your defense is good, but there's still going to be times where you're going to give up runs. Balls are going to find spots. It's just part of the game. You have to be able to put some runs across the plate on the offensive side. And I don't know what that balance looks like in terms of giving up some things defensively for more offense or giving up some things offensively for more defense. Mm-hmm. Because I think right now with the injuries that you have, that's going to be a question that comes up.
I think it's tough, though, because you look at last year and you see, okay, this team struggled with runners in scoring position. Mm-hmm. And so the offense wasn't what it was supposed to look like. And if it doesn't look like what it's supposed to look like now, then you have to rely on defense and pitching. And the pitching is already pretty suspect right now.
Yeah.
So where do you have to rely on? You have to rely on defense. We talk about run suppression. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how this Cardinal team needs to operate, with run suppression. And then you have to rely on the guys that you should be relying on, that need to step up, that are being paid the big bucks. And then you live with the guys, and we talk about Victor Scott. If Victor Scott can get on base with a bunt, I mean, that could be a run right there.
Yeah.
By him himself stealing a base, and you move him over, and then boom, you got one run. Like, it's very possible for that to work, and I think fans would be excited about that.
If you guys are talking about what to lean on, what do you guys think out of the three main elements: offense, defense, and pitching? What do you guys think is the most streaky in baseball?
Hitting?
Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm. I think hitting is the most. I mean, because
what's the most consistent?
You would like for it to be
good
pitching.
or bad.
I think it would be fielding.
I think it'd be defense too.
I think it depends on your team.
If you got if you have a bad defense, you're going to have it. But I mean, consistently, what can you rely on? If you got bad fielders, you're going to have bad defense. If you have a great defense, I don't think defense is streaky.
Right.
I think offense is extremely streaky, regardless. Even the worst offensive teams in baseball. I mean, look at the A's. I'm sure they had a stretch where they scored like 6, 7, 8 runs a couple of games. It's streaky. Even the best offenses. Name your favorite offense, the Braves. I'm sure there are times where they scored 3, 4 runs, over the course of a game. Defense, though, is pretty consistent. I'm going to rely on my defense and my pitching. If I have a bunch of injuries like the Cardinals do, I would want that consistency. So that's why I would lean more toward defense than saying what they did last year, which was, well, we need to score. We're not scoring runs. We better score more runs. Now my defense sucks. The pitching isn't good, and I'm not scoring more runs. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'm just, a kind of a victim to the circumstance of looking at last year. But I think that's the case for Major League Baseball as a whole.
And I think the best way to help your pitchers is to have great defense, because we've seen last season there were times where the Cardinals would mess up in the field, and then the pitcher's out there for an extra 20 pitches, and he's given up 2 extra runs, and that could be all the difference because you missed the cutoff man, or because you threw to the wrong side of the base.
Right.
Like just little things like that this team is missing, those fundamentals that we've been used to seeing for the past 20 years of this ball club. We just didn't see it last year, and I think that's what this team's bread and butter is, and they need to get back to that.
No doubt.
You know what I think makes defense better? Pitchers that have swing and miss stuff.
Yep, you will get 0.0 pushback on that, Carey.
A pitching staff that is pitch to contact, as I said earlier, I mean, you shoot enough shots, one of them going to go in.
Right.
If I hit enough balls, one of them going to go out into the outfield or over the fence or, squeak his way through the infield. It's just going to happen. And this staff is still, even though they talked about getting more swing and miss, this staff is still pitch to contact, which it's cool when you can have 3 infielders on one side of the bag. Not so much when they got to be in the same spot.
To your point, though, that makes defense that much more important if they are going to be.
It makes it harder, though.
I mean, it does make it harder, but for the most part, this offense is the same. What makes me believe that this offense is going to be one of the best in the league?
Right.
So if you can't score runs at a better clip than they did last year, you need to at least prevent runs.
Exactly. I agree. Tackle your 3-1-4-day plans with the Battlehawks this Thursday, March 14th at Ballpark Village. Celebrate all things STL with a free 3-1-4-day with the Battlehawks Town Hall event. Head coach Anthony Becht and the Battlehawks brass will all be there. The event is free to attend and will feature fan-favorite activities, ticket giveaways, exclusive merchandise, live music, and more. Plus, we, the Fastlane, will be broadcasting live from 2 to 6, courtesy of Sumner One. Get all details now at 101ESPN.com. If you got a question for us, leave it at the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Our Sports Six-Pack is next. These are signs of low testosterone that I didn't know before going and seeing my friends at Mentality. Mood changes, zero motivation, loss of muscle mass, increased body fat, decrease in bone mass, hair loss, fatigue, lack of energy. These are all signs that you could have low testosterone. And until you go down to Mentality and talk to the board-certified experts about ways to help you increase your testosterone naturally and healthy and have it maintained over time and monitored, thanks to Mentality, you may not know what you're dealing with, and you may be fighting an uphill battle. If you don't feel like you have that drive to get in the gym, but you want to, or you got lack of energy, you're constantly run down, you're working all these jobs, you're trying your best, and it's not working out for you, then do what Jamie and I did. Jamie and I went down to Mentality. We talked to their experts about, ways that they can help. They, did the full blood panel, realized that, we had low testosterone. We're lacking in certain vitamins too. We got on the program, and it didn't take long before all of a sudden, we did feel the motivation. I know my moods just kind of evened out across the board. I did have the increase in energy. I feel better now. You will see results. So head down to Mentality. Tell them that Jamie and I sent you down. They got 2 locations, one in South County, one in Chesterfield, or you can always check them out at lowtusa.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues are back in action tonight. Under 30 minutes left till we have pregame for you as the Blues take on the Boston Bruins. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. And you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. The Blues are looking to rebound after losing to the New York Rangers over the weekend by a final score of 4-0. St. Louis City SC played to a 2-2 draw against Austin FC this weekend. They'll take on the LA Galaxy next Saturday. And the Cardinals lost today in spring training to the Washington Nationals 11-4. If you've missed anything from today's show, including some NFL talk, a lot of signings today in the NFL legal tampering period. If you missed any of that, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find it there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have Sports Six Pack coming up next. So if you have a question for us, send it our way to the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Sports Six Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is now.
All right, time for our Sports Six Pack. Via the Air Comfort Service text line, your questions, 314-399-9646. Marsh, go.
Question number 1.
First question comes from the 314. In the NFL, is there such a thing as a cap casualty? I feel like nowadays, with the manipulation of the cap, if you're good enough, they will find a way to keep you.
What was Russell Wilson? They're just trying to get rid of him.
Well, you missed that last part on the...
Oh, if you're good enough. Yeah, probably right.
The Vikings probably aren't cutting Justin Jefferson, you know? So cap casualty, no. No, they're probably not a cap casualty. It means that your production is dipped, and they're looking to get rid of your contract.
I'm trying to think of who got cut over the weekend but was still playing.
I mean, Aaron Jones is a good example today. And there's a bunch of texters that said the Cowboys would be a good landing spot. Absolutely. That's where he's from.
Derrick Henry is also still out there. He's going to.
Yeah.
But Aaron Jones going to Dallas, I think, would be an upgrade from what they had last year.
Yeah.
And Tony Pollard.
I would say no. I like the way that was phrased.
If you're good enough, if you're still playing it, because somebody else is going to sign them. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, you're probably right.
Question number 2.
From the 980. Look, we don't have to go through the list of bad decisions Doug Armstrong has made over the last 4 years because we know them. And with professional sports being a what have you done for me lately profession, not just for players and coaches, but for GMs as well, why do you think that Doug Armstrong is not on the hot seat the way most Blues fans feel he should?
Because I don't think Stillman feels as though that Doug Armstrong is not the guy to get the job done. It really doesn't matter what we think.
Won a championship. Like, I think that buys you some
Craig
time.
Berube won a championship.
He couldn't get the guys to play hard enough.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess Drew Bannister can't either, so I don't know.
I would say look at ownership. When you're talking about relieving a GM or a president, I understand your question. Should we kind of question it or at least take a look at it? Yes, we can do that as fans and in the media. But if you're asking directly why he might not be on the hot seat, it's because Stillman still believes in the job that he's doing or can do. That's kind of the nuts and bolts of it. Do you have a different viewpoint of that, Carey?
No, I mean, I think it's just, again, you put a roster together to win the first championship ever. I think that carries a lot of weight. And you still got, I mean, some of these guys are younger, and you're still hoping that it pans out in the way that it's supposed to. Now, this has not been great the last couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. Been some really bad hockey, but I think there is a hope that at some point, if not this year, offseason, make some moves, and this team will be better. I think we kind of knew that last year, though. When you were going to trade away O'Reilly, Tarasenko, Barbashev, you knew that this team was going to be much different and probably in a retooling phase. Maybe a little bit closer to rebuilding than they would like to admit, but definitely a retooling phase.
Question number 3.
Guys, the Blues have recalled Zach Dean. He was the pick that came back. He was a first-round pick for Vegas. He was part of the deal with Ivan Barbashev last year with the Golden Knights. In Springfield this year in 47 games, he has 8 goals and 5 assists. He is a -15 in the plus-minus department. The question for you, though, with the Blues doing this, are they looking for more offense, like they said with Bolduc, or are the Blues throwing in the towel for the year, bringing up Zach Dean?
Yes.
I mean, hey, if you're not going to make the playoffs, you better be productive in looking at giving guys opportunity, young guys. That's really one of Doug Armstrong's jobs, right? To get a good look at some of these players that might have bigger roles next year if you decide to move on from some of the current guys. So are they throwing in the towel? I guess it's one way to look at it, because you wouldn't be doing that if you really believed in the current guys. Right? Yeah. So yes, they're not going to say it, but I would say yes.
Question number 4.
And we're moving on to the next question. From the 618, if Victor Scott makes the team out of spring training and is getting on base and doing everything not to be sent down, do you think once Tommy Edman and Lars Nootbaar get healthy, will they still just send him down anyway?
Yeah, probably.
That's terrible.
Because they hate you.
That's terrible. They hate who? The Cardinal fans?
Wait, because you hate the Texans?
They hate you. The Cardinals.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, of course, I mean, you don't want to... You want to make sure you save that year, right? That they did with
Jordan Walker.
Yeah, you don't want.
Yeah.
You want to burn up that year for getting closer to arbitration.
Well, I'll say
that's important. The hell with winning.
There you go. I'll say this: if you as you laid it out there, Texter, which I thought was well done. If Victor Scott is doing everything, he's playing great defense, he's getting on base, all that stuff, he's doing everything to help them win games, and they send him down, then the Cardinals don't care about winning.
Or you.
Wow.
That's harsh.
I hope that happens.
I hope you listen to this show to get just a dose of truth every day.
I'm sorry.
A lot of sarcasm.
That was mean for me. I hope that, he plays well. Not that he gets sent down and then everybody feels like the Cardinals hate them. I don't want that to happen.
I hope he stays here and plays all season.
I do too.
Starts at center field from day one and never lets go.
I think for me, I look at the team and maybe others feel this way. I'm not too sure. This is just how I feel. I'm just kind of over what they have. Like, I want to see some of these young players because I feel like there's potentially more upside. And maybe that's just because I'm looking at last season and it was terrible. But that's just sort of how I feel. Like, if this guy can provide speed and something that we have not seen in a while, along with Mason Wynn as well, we didn't get to see a full season from him. Like, I'm more attracted to that than just what we've seen the past 4 or 5 years.
I'm with you on that, 100%. Obviously, we all want to see him win.
Right.
So if they're winning, everything else is moot about like what we want to see. We want to see them win. But if they're going to be floundering, certainly if they're going to be bad, I would rather see the younger guys. If they're going to be average, I'd rather see the younger guys. Unless they're going to win and they're going to be NL Central champions, I would rather see the young guys than some of these old dudes again. Just get they're we got to protect the young guys. I got to make sure that we're taking our time with them and blah. As a fan, I'd rather see Victor Scott and some of these young dudes get an opportunity. They include the pitchers too. You're going to be average
Question
bad.
number 5.
Might as well be somewhat exciting, Carey.
I'm with you.
From the 217, which stadium/ballpark/arenas do you think are overrated and which ones are underrated?
Overrated, underrated. That one's tough.
Yeah.
Because I could see Wrigley being overrated because it's older. You're peeing into a trough.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Beer's kind of okay.
Yeah.
But it's also the environment and all that. So,
It is a cool environment.
I don't think it's overrated.
When I went there when they played against the Cardinals, and I've only seen them play against the Cardinals at Wrigley Field. I don't know if the atmosphere is the same if they're playing like the Rockies or whoever. I had a great time. It was so much fun.
Sure.
Even sitting behind a pole 2 times.
That's awful.
I know. It's part of the experience.
How did you get that ticket twice?
I almost got to blame you on that.
I did not get the tickets. Somebody else did. I was just a part of.
You got to see. I mean, you can't
agree, though.
You can't be friends.
I agree.
No, you don't even talk to them at that point.
I agree.
They're telling you all you need to know. They don't like you. Your friends are telling you.
I agree.
Andrew Marsh, we don't like you. We're going to put you behind this pole.
Not once.
Twice.
Well, you'll love this story then, because
boy.
the second time I went, had tickets for what we thought was the Saturday game.
Mm-hmm.
And these tickets were right behind the third base dugout. And then the game was actually Friday's game. And we noticed on Saturday.
Oh.
So the game had already happened. So then we had to buy tickets because we were already down at Wrigleyville. And thus, we sat behind a pole. Once again. Upper deck pole and lower deck pole.
Again, Marsh, I don't know.
You couldn't have a conversation?
I feel like Carey and I are being your friends telling you this.
I appreciate it.
This group does not like you.
Yeah.
And you have to cut bait.
At some point, you could have said, hey, fellas, I sat behind the pole last time. One of you guys want to switch with me? And if they're no, hell no, that's your seat. You should probably.
Then you take the back of their head and right off the pole. Yeah. And then when they're knocked out, you
just switch.
Yeah. I felt like a boxer the whole time, going back and forth.
That's terrible.
Like when the pitcher throws the ball, then I have to move my head to the left to see if it gets hit or not.
Did they offer, hey, we'll sit there 1 inning, let's rotate?
No, I mean, these poles are not thin by any means. We were all sitting behind this one pole.
That's absurd.
I mean, come on.
Is the ticket less than anywhere else?
Oh, absolutely.
It should be free.
It should.
Because you're not actually seeing the game. Like $1.09 or something.
They should put a TV into that pole, at least.
It's a good idea. Yeah.
Then you can see the game.
Yeah, it was probably in the 1990s or something like that.
Wires.
Or not in the 90s, 1900s.
That's right. It definitely was in the 90s.
No. But it was two good games though. So I think I could get past the pole because Matt Carpenter was the first time I went. He was playing really good ball when that weekend he hit 5 home runs or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the next one was the Yadier Molina, Paul DeJong back-to-back home runs. So the Cardinals did really well.
Sure.
I just couldn't see it for half the time.
Yeah, that's awful.
So,
Marsh, I'd like, when it comes to your friends, I'd like to apologize for them because they're clearly not going to do it for you.
Yeah.
But Carey, you played in the NFL. I mean, you played in these stadiums. Which NFL stadium is overrated?
I don't know if they're. It's hard to overrate. I can go more by the locker rooms because the locker rooms are really what we're focusing on. Denver Broncos have the most elite visiting locker room in all of football.
Really?
Oh man!
Wow!
It was beautiful. You had your own locker, your own chair. There's some locker rooms where you're literally sharing a locker and it's one seat. And this guy doesn't have any clothes on, so I'll be back when you get there.
You know what? You go first.
I'll find
see you in a second.
I'll go stretch over here. Use the bathroom. You let me know when you're done, and we can switch. Yeah, some of them are. Not a lot of room, man.
Yeah. So Denver, who's got the worst visiting locker?
Oh, man. Baltimore's is not good. It's not a lot of space. It's so hard to recall. Tampa had a terrible home locker room.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It was as big as most visiting locker rooms. Yeah. So
okay.
But Denver, the only reason I remember that is because it was glorious. It is room in there. It was like a home locker room.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. There you have it. All right, that's your Sports Six Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. When we come back, we have got Bet the Board, 3 stars of the day, criticisms, compliments next. R&R Tire Express knows that not everybody has an opportunity to pay full price when it comes to replacing tires. And if you need new tires, well, call R&R Tire Express because they've got payment plans for you. They understand that you don't want to spend your entire tax return on just tires. And throughout the month of March, they have the matching payment program. That means when you pay 1 week, R&R Tire Express will pay 1 week on new tire and wheel installs now through the end of March. When you pay 2 weeks, they'll pay 2 weeks. When you pay 3 weeks, they'll pay 3 weeks. You get the idea on that. R&R Tire Express offers flexible payment options plus peace of mind coverage. What that means is that they'll include free tire installation, free rotations, free flat repair, and more. Everyone's approved, no credit needed. If you want new wheels, if you need new tires, then call R&R Tire Express at 1-833-ROLL-NOW or visit rnrtires.com to request a quick quote while they're matching payments on all in-stock tires and wheels throughout the month of March. It's R&R Tire Express. Miss anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com, your 101 ESPN mobile app, brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Don't forget to Selection Sunday almost here. Get signed up to play in this year's Bracket Madness Pick'em Challenge. Register to participate now at 101ESPN.com. Completely free to enter, and this year's top scorer will take home a $250 Amazon gift card and a 101 prize pack. You can see all the contest rules and get signed up today to play Bracket Madness at 101ESPN.com. It's all brought to you by Bud Light and Twin Peaks. Time to play Bet the Board on 101 ESPN. Marsh, do you have the updated standings?
Nah, don't worry about it.
No. What
I do. Carey's 1-5.
Ooh.
Jamie, I believe, is 2-4. Anthony, you're 4-2, and I'm 3-3.
Okay. All right.
It's not a big deal.
Well, no, you're going to bounce back. There's no...
I mean, I can only go up from here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think I've lost 5 in a row.
You're going to win tonight, though. I believe it.
You said it.
Yep. I'm going to take Gonzaga minus 8.5 over San Francisco in the conference tournament matchup.
Just 8.5?
Yep.
San Francisco's record?
23-9.
Oh, okay.
But they always do this, where they're always good, and then they face Gonzaga and they get the wheels beat off of them.
Doors blown off?
Yep. So give me Gonzaga minus 8.5.
All right.
I'm going to take the Blues and Boston Bruins second period over 1.5 goals. Second period seems to be the trend these days.
Who's going to score?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I just need 2 goals in the second period from either team.
At least you didn't go third period.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that means it'd probably come from the Boston Bruins.
Right,
so
exactly.
I'm trying to stay neutral here.
Okay.
Or actually, I'm trying to root for the Blues. Hopefully, the Blues scored 2 goals in the second.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it.
Yep.
I'm going to go... Oh, you got Jamie's?
Yeah, Jamie wants the New Jersey Devils plus 114 against the New York Rangers tonight.
It's weird. I'm going to go Golden State Warriors minus 5 versus the San Antonio Spurs. They lost a couple days ago. Hopefully, they figure some things out.
They're only 4?
Minus
4.5?
5.
Oh, 5.
I mean, you can give me 4.
I don't want to give you 4.
Okay.
Yeah. We're in a competition, Jamie. Or Carey.
I'm still Jamie.
What's your name?
Carey.
Got it. Go ahead, Marsh.
All right, so we have our 3 stars of the day real quick. Third star goes to the listeners that listen.
Yes. Love those guys and gals.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the United States for the 13 stripes on the flag.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And our first star of the day goes to Lance Lynn for his quote over the weekend when he got kicked out of the game.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'd rather have you pitch better. Hey, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Yeah, Blues Bruins pregame at 5 o'clock. See you.
Anthony, FanDuel is putting the ball in your court for the rest of the NBA season because right now new customers can get $200 in bonus bets with any $5 bet. That's just $200 back if your bet wins.
It's amazing. Then
that's awesome.
Heck yeah, it is. And then $200 in bonus bets there with FanDuel. Then you can play the live same game parlays. You could build those, or you could take advantage of some of the prop plays, or really anything that FanDuel has to offer. But Carey, you do have to get signed up. Visit FanDuel.com/fast to make your first layup. FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Carey, I know that you like the Warriors tonight on the road against the Spurs.
minus 5. We'll see. See how they do.
You like any prop plays? Steph Curry?
You know what? Steph is hurt. I don't know if he's playing tonight.
A little banged up.
Let's go. I don't know how many threes Klay Thompson needs. If it's 3 plus 3, take it over.
There you go. It's all at FanDuel. Must be 21 and older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager. Only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.